Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Pritchard Pub. This evening we got a special guest, Mr. Chris Hicks. How you doing, buddy?
How's it going? Thank you for having me. I apologize for my picture of my spirit animal. They make you sign up and to change it, and I didn't have time. So you're stuck with John McClane making have a few laughs face. So
it's a good choice.
Yeah, Andy, thank you very much. I appreciate you reaching out and inviting me on.
Yeah, it's no problem, brother. I've heard good things from mutuals about you, so that's how a lot of our guys have come on at first year. So yeah,
my reputation must be flipping around a little bit, maybe.
Yeah, that would be. I think that was C.A. Pence who was like, "You guys are awesome.
Great.
I'm glad you're." Yeah. So I was like,
great guy. A guy that will stick with you and like get to know you, get to understand you. I think when I branched out into doing digital art, just as it started off as fun, but I needed to get work done for my project. I couldn't afford it, but I started reaching out to people and wanted to give them low cost, high quality art to give back to the community. And he was one of the first people I did a logo for. I'm going to update him because my skills have improved, but he's a good guy. But long story short, he took a chance on me. He was really cool, and he's stuck around. He's been around for about a year now, so he's a great guy. I'm glad that that you guys are friends. That says a lot about you too. So like, we're just trading off coins here.
I owe him an ass whooping in Warhammer. I got to take on his gestures with my orc boys whenever I get him. I got gifted an army. I'm still kind of waiting for him. I think my buddy's like painting him or something. I don't know what he's doing. He just keeps adding more to the Christmas gift. I'm like, dude, it's summer. Like, I'm ready to let's play some Warhammer, buddy. Let's go. But with that new controversy with Games Workshop, I'm sure people are dropping out, but at the same time, not really. It's one of those hobbies where it's like, well, do I play that faction? No. Well, I disavow that, but I don't care. They spent too much money on it at this point, But
yeah, I think a lot of that is it's the internet mentality of I'm going to act like I'm pissed off about it, but I'm going to take full advantage of it in the real world. And it used to be when we were younger. I'm not trying to age you. I'm assuming you're probably around my age. I'm 40.
I'm getting there. I'm like,
okay.
What year is it? It's like I'm getting like 34, 35. Getting there.
That's not bad. We're in the same range, but
yeah.
What I was trying to say is like, you used to make fun of the people who weren't connected with reality, and now it's like if you can legitimately win an argument if you tell somebody now, and it's disgusting. Well, I did it on the internet, so it doesn't count.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like you pretty much gave them a license to steal, and that's the teenage culture. That's the young people. That's the guys going online who's never been punched in the face before for saying something to somebody's face. They feel like it's not real if I say it online. That's why you'll see more people talking so much garbage than you ever, and it'll destroy people's psyches if you're not in real good mental health.
Right, dude.
But I think it's just a bunch of squawking. Yeah,
I agree. Because like those people are the first ones to turn around and just start talking about punching people, and it's like, dude, you've never been punched in the face. You probably got a glass jaw. Step back, chill out with what you're saying online, because like this is America. A lot of us carry. So you start coming up at us and you start trying to punch people, some problems are going to happen. Just saying. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, exactly. And there's plenty of evidence on the internet of those fuck around and find out people.
Yeah.
So when there's controversy on the internet, man, about like this game stuff, I'm staying as far away from it as possible. I'm sick and tired of having my nerd favorite shit being torn apart by conspiracy after conspiracy from people who 10-15 years ago would throw a rock at my nerd ass for wearing a Jedi t-shirt down the fucking street.
Real,
bro. And they want to come in here and try to tell us how we feel about our shit. Mm-hmm. How in the hell is it even being allowed to happen, to be honest with you? But I was in a comic book shop the other day, and like, yeah, they're big boys online, but we're still nerds in fucking real life. We're still cowards.
Yeah, dude. Yeah,
like, dude, I'm not talking shit because I'm right there with you guys. I was there, bro. I was in full fucking Starfleet uniform and cons. I was there. I was on an away mission and I was there. I've embarrassed myself. I'm one of you. But for the Lord
That's
of,
our
I grew
humiliation.
up.
That's our
Right.
humiliation ritual. We don't put on dresses or any of that stuff like at Bohemian Grove. We instead put on Star Trek uniforms and cosplay. But it's like a wholesome humiliation ritual. It's like, no, this
Right.
is like we're connecting with
Yeah.
disconnecting,
And
so to speak.
yeah. It wasn't really overly sexual there, but I mean, I played that card because I want these people to understand I am one of you. But like this nerd culture of the way we treat each other, no way, bro. Like it's never. If somebody came into a comic book store and they were like, "Hey, what issue? Like, I want to get into Wolverine," and everyone would turn around like, "What Wolverine? Who's that? What issue should I? Dude, we're welcoming you in there, and we'll give you free shit. Start
For
with this.
real.
I don't use this anymore. I have doubles of that. That's how
Dude,
I got into it. And online, we're gonna slit each other's throats because one
that's
is using
community.
this letter and at the end of their name and oh my god, I'm like, dude, we turned into the Mean Girls
We did, yeah.
in the
Well,
cafeteria.
that's who's running the
Like,
cafeteria.
who in the hell? How did we do that? When did we let Wesley Crusher take the helm of the Enterprise? What the fuck are we doing?
Fucking Wesley, dude. So yeah, so those who are listening, Chris Hicks, you're an author and a producer. Not an. Are you an author? You are an author, right? New book.
I mean, I don't like all the slashes. You know, I'm the kind of guy who's like, when you, I'm a filmmaker at heart. Everything kind of came after that. I was always kind of afraid of the people who came at me with projects for like, hey man, I'm writing it, I'm directing it, I'm starring it, I'm producing it, I'm editing it. I'm like, whoa, just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Right.
I'm a storyteller, and I think authors earn that right, and I think they work really hard and they're really specific and they grind on that one thing. And I'm all over the place with my creativity. I just tell stories, and if I can't tell a story in the genre I want, I find another genre to tell that story. And it just so happens that I've been, since COVID has stopped shit for the most part, and so long story short, sorry, no, I consider myself a writer and a filmmaker.
Gotcha.
So yeah, that's
kind of veer towards filmmaking though a little bit.
Yeah.
If you can help it.
Yeah, if I can make a film, I'm going to. But if I can't, I'll turn it into a short story, or I'm working on a comic book idea as well. I'm just a storyteller, man, and I'm in love with stories, and I'm in love with comic books. I'm in love with film and music. Those are my kind of things, and I'm eclectic all over across the board. And if I feel like I'm challenged, I step up to the plate and try to take on that creativity challenge. Yeah,
Lift
definitely.
it up. Yep. Build them muscles. I get it. I'm the same way, man. Like you said, C.A. Pence took a chance on you with your art career. I kind of feel like that's kind of the stage I'm at with my, hey, look who it is. That's kind of the stage I'm at with my art career.
I can't see the chat, but Elma said, what's up?
I pulled it here. Yeah. C.A. Pence says, hello, gents. And, while I'm over here, Bat Sauce says, beep, beep. Beep, beep, Bat Sauce, beep, beep. And C.A. Pence. Awesome. But, I kind of feel like I'm right there in my art journey as well. I have, like, my first couple of people really taking a chance on me, and I kind of have a little bit of a actual backlog going on at the moment. Like, I'm trying to keep things mega cheap and just try to get better on my end. So that so that it's just so that the time, like, because like if it's a negative for me, that's my problem, right? I shouldn't. If I believe in providing a service for people, at least right now at this level, I should really just like try to make it affordable, because that's one of the things with indie that's I'm noticing is like a big issue is affordability. A lot of people don't have money, like that's kind of why everybody aspires. At least the default path is the big five and traditional publishing and stuff. It's so you don't have to pay for anything. You know what I mean? That's really what it comes down to, is being held hostage by money. So personally,
that's the ultimate creativity crutch. Other than having a writer's block, the only thing stopping me from doing what I want is cash. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Because like
and making it. Yeah, I'm sorry.
It seems like resources at first is all I'm saying, but then you realize it's just kind of money because you can always find people. But what were you gonna say?
Shit, I lost my train of thought.
Sorry, brother.
You talk about keeping the prices low, and like I think
Yep.
it's important also. Like I came into like graphic design work and helping people do logos and covers and stuff by necessity. Like I wouldn't say that I go out there publicly and like try to offer my services, but when I did discover to do that, when I'm like, oh shit, I can probably help people out. I you know I really took the price and I just chopped it down. Like you can't get better. Like if you came to me, I would do a great logo or a cover for like $60. I was like,
Right.
what the fuck? And I'm like, well, I set myself up during the day to have a day job and have a life where I'm comfortable, where I got time to do this. But at the same
Right.
time, I don't want to. I want everybody to be able to not be like, what we just said, I can't do it because I can't afford it. Well, here's this
Right.
guy and he's not only giving you a good discount, but it's at a ridiculously high quality,
Yeah.
and then but you got those people out there who are just raking their prices up super super high, and I'm sorry if some people are listening to this, but like I know some of you are pricing yourself out of jobs.
For real. Oh, 100%. I've had to
and
repeatedly, like, I'm looking for a book cover, to be honest, but like I finally found an artist. I won't say yet. I had my dream artist, $2,000. I had another artist I looked into, 1,000. I'm like, why are book covers the price of a car? I don't understand. But then I was like, but it's art, so you get it, It's like, I get it, I guess, if it's like a
I'm
painting.
expecting it to be expensive. I'm not expecting it to where I have to take a loan out.
Yeah, I know, dude. I was like, I'm
not asking you to paint the Picasso here.
Yeah.
It's 11 by, what is comic books, like 11 by 5?
Need something to wrap my book in, not that big of a deal. Like, not really anything that, I mean, but I guess they kind of anticipate you printing out a scrim and setting up a booth, posters, t-shirts, even if you wanted to. It's original art that you could cut up, chop up, and put everywhere. Essentially, I could crop out one character out of it, out of the whole image, and then like use that on all kinds of promo stuff technically. So, I get it because it's art at the end of the day. But like at the same time, it's like, oh man, like what you said, how many people got to pass that up? Because I gotta, you know what I mean? It's not until I found somebody who's talking about payment plans where I was like, okay, now I can kind of attach a name. I
just want a legitimate conversation with an artist to break it down for me. Like if you're listening and I'm wrong, come at me. That's okay. You can come at me and tell me why I'm wrong. But I want to know why it's so. Why is some of it so expensive when I know I can do some of that shit with free software? Not all of it. Not all of it. I understand that creativity and time of completion. How much do you charge yourself an hour on working on it? I don't know. That fluctuates. But I'm just saying there are some prices are just. I would love for somebody to break it down. Like, here's why I charge this much. And maybe there's something I'm not seeing, but I really do think that, like, okay, if you're charging $1,000 for a book cover, you can almost get a 25-page comic for $80 a page. Right? You can get a full issue with that. That should never be that. You should never. That, I don't know. For me, that doesn't sit right. Like, but
yeah. Like I was kind of anticipating a few hundred. That kind of sounds reasonable. It's like, okay, permanent
500
image.
at the most.
Yeah. Like a good chunk. Like, okay, you can pay a bill with that. You could throw that in your savings account, whatever. That makes a lot of sense. That's about how much time it probably takes somebody as good as you. Stuff like that. But yeah, no, it's just like, it's like the quicker they get at it and the better they get, they up the price, which I understand because quality and all that. But like, we're also in a day and age where, you really got to have a big, powerful name. I think a really powerful name attached to your IP.
And and don't get me wrong, artists, don't be discouraged. I'm not talking shit. I come to you, I use you, I recommend people. I was just, there are good artists that are in great price ranges.
Yes.
You just got to kind of fish and look for them. Also, but like, here's another thing. Like, do I pass on the cost of my living going up to my client? In a
Right,
way,
dude.
you kind of have to. The business side goes, okay, I get you a little bit, but we're also artists, so shouldn't money not necessarily be the main driving focus? Like, can you still get away with finding a reasonable price range, or like you said, maybe doing more payment plans? I remember if you said payment plan to an artist a few years ago, you would definitely, they would laugh at you, and they would, like,
Yep.
you would be ostracized from the community for
Yep.
even suggesting such a fucking thing. But
Yep.
now it's like you almost have to. So that's why I said I would love to talk to get to know like someone who's just dedicated to doing art and stuff like that, and just tell me like where you come at people with your price. And I know, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I know a lot of artists, and some of them are assholes, and they just believe that's how, like, I'm a man, I drew this with my hand.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I get that, but where do you put a price on that? And there's not a real clear cut answer. But like I said, man, it's really iffy, and that's why I go fucking all my images, one low
Mm-hmm.
price, so you don't have to do what we're doing right now. You just say, okay, cool. What do you got? I'll show you what I got. You like it? Cool. I'll do it.
Mm-hmm. That's
There's
kind of
like,
where I'm at too.
yeah. And
Yeah.
I'll break it up. I'll break it up into payments if you want me to.
I
I don't care. I want to get what you need for you. It's high quality and get you started, get you going, and
Yeah.
I saw some guy was talking about quit being creative because he can't afford to do cover art. It's getting ridiculous. He doesn't want to use AI for this, that, or the other thing. And I'm like, man, I'll do a cover for you for free. What do you need? Don't quit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, come on, I got time. It's not going to take me that long.
He was gonna quit writing.
He was going to quit it. He was really pissed on
quitting
Twitter.
writing
Like,
over
on,
that. That's like, come on, man. Yeah.
Just being like frustrated about it, but I get it. Prices are ridiculous.
Yeah.
But anyway,
that's very true actually. But real quick, we'll catch up on the chat really quick. Bad Sauce says you're definitely a Fed. That's an inside joke. There was a not so anonymous email that was sent to the Pritchard pub about our last guest being a Fed. It was all conspiratorial. It was funny. Just clearly somebody with an agenda.
Was it a joke, or was somebody being real and they're just nuts?
They thought they had us figured out, and they were trying to, I don't know, get us to like not platform him or something, and it just didn't work. It was just more funny.
The guy that was on your show last time talk about Rome?
Yeah, dude, you watched? That was a good one. He was like,
yeah, I checked it out. Of course, I do my homework. I'm trying to pay it forward.
His past life regressions. That was pretty interesting stuff. Like you hear a lot of people, a lot of different inspiration.
I didn't get fed from them, but like then again, maybe he's really good at his job. I don't know,
Right. Like I was thinking to myself, I'm like, if he was a Fed, he was like blazing right there. Like we're just talking about conspiracies and shit. Like I guess that would give him access to all the conspiracies, right? But I really did not get the Fed vibe. But unless you're like you said, very good at your job, but you'd have to be recruiting from like.
Well, kudos, man. You're a pretty good actor. I might actually ask you to come work for me one day.
Yeah, for real.
So
the next thing, Katie, my wife, is in the chat. She says, "Hey,
hello."
CA Pence says $60 ain't bad. It really isn't. It's very good. It's very good. It cost me for like a basic sketch. It's like 20 to 35. It's like $35 for a sketch, a full page of sequential sketch art. That's like the cheapest thing I could find. And the only thing I could think of, like, right. I mean, because you could take that and run the whole race with it essentially. So that's pretty damn good price as long as you're resourceful enough. But the only thing that gets like cheaper than that is if like I was gonna just like letter somebody's comic and I charge like $5 or $10 a page. Like, so it's like even at the cheapest, $5 or $10 a page still adds up, right? Like that's like 10 pages. That's $50 to $100. Still 10 pages, but like still, man, like a comic or a graphic novel can push 100 pages. It could really add up, And I really don't blame people for using tools that are available for them. Oh,
But here's another funny question. Okay, so you're using tools to help you do it faster and more efficiently, but you're still charging people prices that
right, right.
you were doing everything manually. Like, we're gonna get into that. Like, I think we're
Yep.
already starting to get into the shallow
We're
kiddie
figuring
pool
it out.
part of like there's my wife asked me, is there a way to tell if anybody writes anything with AI? And I said, as a matter of fact, there is. And people are gonna, and it's only so you're gonna be able to do AI really good, but guess what's gonna come right along with it? AI detection is gonna get just as good at detecting AI. They're gonna invest as much time into it as well. So there are actual websites. If you're curious if somebody's using AI writing, I don't remember the website, sorry, but eventually it'll come to me. But you can, and it'll be like 97% AI generated, or 90 or 100% AI generated, and then this guy will teach you prompts so you can trick the AI and make it give you a more human response, and then you can go from 100% to 0%. So,
And it's
and
like
is
an
that cheating?
arms race.
So let me ask you
Right.
this: if I write just a shitty paragraph, punctuation's all to hell, I can't spell worth a damn, and there's no breaks in punctuations, and I say, AI, please clean this up and make it novel format, is that cheating?
Right.
As a
Or is it
writer,
just cutting
did I
out? Or is
write
it just
that?
cutting out the right? I think you
I
did,
didn't
and
ask you to
the AI.
change words.
You checked it. You
I didn't
checked
ask
your
you to
work.
change words. Just format it. Just
Yeah,
format it for me. That's all. Is
like
that
an
cheating?
assistant. Like an assistant. I don't think it
Yeah.
is personally. No, no,
Would
no. That's cutting out an
would you get?
editor
Yeah.
and
Okay.
and all that shit. So, like honestly, like it's cutting out middlemen when you do that. Hello, Katie. How you doing, love?
Hey, I'm good. How are you guys?
Doing good.
Howdy.
Yeah, I already said it in the chat, but that link is for sure how that guy gets people doxxed.
Oh yeah, the guy that doxes people. That's right. Yeah.
And he like signs you up for a bunch of spam and all kinds of stuff and just basically harasses you. I don't know if he tries to get people swatted or not, but I am actually going to talk to our local police department tomorrow to make a report about this, just in case somebody tries to swat us, because I'm not fucking around with my family like that. Like, we got dogs and a baby. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know
I'll
if
put up
you.
with a lot of shit. You can come at me, but don't bring my family into it. Like
Yeah.
I'll go full. You'll never recognize the person I'll become if you mess with my family. Just don't do it,
Yeah, if
please.
I got swatted with my dog, maybe I would burn the earth down until I found this person, and they would fucking regret it. I'd make sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
In Minecraft.
I am right there with
in
you.
Minecraft, yeah. Yeah, we all heard what happened with Tim Pool, like on a daily, weekly, monthly basis for like however long. He's probably still getting swatted all the time. Pretty ridiculous.
Dude, that's scary.
That's just from using your real name.
Gunpoint, and I didn't do any.
You know, just using your
I
real
couldn't
name.
imagine what it's like for him to order like food. How do you order food as Tim Pool? Like, it's gonna come up. They're gonna think. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, poor guy. Anyway,
Yeah,
that's why I
the
like
police
being behind the scenes.
Yeah, the police had to have been like, just say whatever, dude. I don't blame you. You know.
Yeah, I
but
really.
What? Oh, what were you gonna say?
I just like, the email was insane because it was like, you guessed instead of your guest, and they said has instead of have. Like, this person is clearly not intelligent, so I'm not worried about them being intelligent enough to do anything besides, this person sent me a doxing software thing link, whatever, you know. Somebody he made buddies with on fucking 4chan or some shit like that hooked him up with a fucking link, and then he just harasses those people. Like, this person has the saddest fucking life imaginable. I
agreed.
almost feel
I'm
bad
just
for them.
curious why you guys are a target.
Just
because of our
Like,
guests.
I don't think you guys are. I've been around more, like, no offense, but I've been around people who are like talking massive garbage about people, and they seem to be getting away with it. But like, you guys over here having chill conversations and cool ass guests are getting messed with. What the hell?
Well, it's because
Let's not compute.
He told me before, he's like, basically like, I don't know if you want me on your show because I have these certain people that keep harassing me and people I associate. I'm like, I don't give a fuck, you know. I'm not worried about that. And so he did give me a heads up, but he basically was against Google and the government being in bed and the government having too much authority over what we do online and certain things like that. And it wasn't like, I don't know, he gave me a little backstory, but basically it doesn't warrant being harassed by these people because they do. Everyone he associates with gets harassed. So that would include us if we host him, and that's just basically it. We hosted the wrong guest. I'm sorry we don't gatekeep, you know.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. It's like
I
an
see
Alex
that.
Jones.
No,
type.
no. No, I respect the hell out of that, but unfortunately, I think that's one of the risks you take.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's like with free speech. One of the side effects is you're going to hear shit you don't want to hear.
Yep.
But you can't get rid of it. You can't just abolish free speech for that. You can't be scared. You can't be intimidated by the mob, nor should you give in, or you'll be giving in to it for the rest of your life.
Amen.
And
You combat it with
So
better
I
speech.
would do the same.
As far
Yeah.
as far as censorship and the government being involved in our personal affairs and like monitoring us, we have more than enough ability to fucking wipe like P3DOs off the fucking map
Mhm.
and people that truly harm other people and leave everyone else alone. Period. And they're not
That's
doing
true.
that. So since they're not doing that, like they don't need to know what we're doing because what are they doing with the information? Targeting parents and ripping
Selling it to China. So
to
that
sell to
Yeah.
sell people's kids to those P3DOs? Like, come
Yeah,
the fuck
probably.
on.
Probably, yeah. We all saw Sound of Freedom, but in Minecraft.
Disgusting.
But real quick on the subject of AI, CA and Bad Sauce both make very good points here. CA says that it's not much different from pro writing in general, the process of pro writing, which is true. When you put, okay, you take somebody like George R.R. Martin, right, who's probably a fantastic writer right off the bat, right, and you force his work through a fine mesh screen of like 20 to 30 editors, how much is his at the end of the day, really? And it's changing a lot more than just formatting, like you were saying. And the reason I bring this up is George literally thanks he personally thanks somebody in his book, whoever the Microsoft Word wizard is that he thanks. But there's somebody in particular that like specially goes through it with a fine-tooth comb or something.
Yeah, that's funny. He did that. I didn't know that. In my younger years, I used to do everything myself. So I'd make up fake names for people who like. So like, MacBook was my editor, and written by PC. The initials PC, last name load letter. Stuff, generic stuff like that, or word. I had another one for an editor. It was like Word. Anyway, but yeah, that's all right. I can't remember. I'm old now, but
sans serif Word.
A Comic Sans or some shit like that.
Yeah,
It was like I took a font name and I thought I was being clever. Everyone was like, "Hey, do you think PC will do mine?" I'm like, sure."
Right.
No, I'm just kidding.
So it's like at the end of the day,
asked for my services back then.
At the end of the day, do people really have a problem with somebody having their work fundamentally changed so many times? Because if so, they haven't had a problem with that until a computer is able to do it. Or do they have a problem with everybody having access to this level of editing and scrutiny, where you can just tell a robot to look over this with a fine-tooth comb?
Okay,
you know?
but this is the thing.
Such a great conversation. I love this.
With ripping off artists, though, like it has to be said over and over and over. As children, we watch TV, go to school, things that like truly cost us no money, and we learn other artists' techniques, whether they're dead or alive or whatever. We learn from other people and other artists constantly to do our own original art anyway. So like really, what the fuck is the problem? You're really mad that a robot's learning? I mean, at some point you got to pick your fucking battles. You want to be mad about AI art and being ripped off when people will always support actual artists? Or do you want to like get up and be mad because we cannot afford to fucking live and our children are being kidnapped? Like, pick your fucking battles, people. Like, you're mad about the wrong shit, period.
Right. Andy and I were talking about trying to find the balance of when you become like an older creative person where you get a family and life hits you and you're like, do I worry about my country falling apart and the world and my family unit and all that shit? Oh no, I got to go online and make sure everyone reads my book. Like, I know I'm here to talk about my project that I love and I bleed for, but it's not when I was younger I could do that. I could put that away. But I feel like we're obligated also to, like you said, worry about things that really do matter. And
you matter, like, you can be upset about both and more than one. That's true. And I understand that. That's not wrong. So before someone says that, I acknowledge that.
Oh, did I lose you?
Maybe.
Oh, I think I'm back. I hear you. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. I can. I hear a scratching too.
Oh, on my end, I don't hear Andy.
Oh, he must have had to deal with something. Yeah, like, you can worry about both things, of course, or different things, but it's just like, I always get mad when people are, mad at someone for spending their food stamps or being on food stamps and having their nails done or driving a nice car and being broke. It's like, well, yeah, they probably can't afford to live after having a nice car, and then something happens and now they can't keep up with their bills. Like, everything's situational and we don't know someone else's situation, but we're so quick to be mad about people abusing social programs, but such a minuscule portion of our taxes go to those social programs anyway. But we're okay, because there's a fucking billboard with the Ukrainian flag, so it's okay that we send them billions and billions and billions. Like, that's fine. But not that bitch getting chips with her food stamps. Oh, because her nails are done. She doesn't need them. What the fuck, man? Like, come on. She deserves to have her nails done and look good just because she's fucking broke, if that's what makes her feel good and happy. Like,
right. My question is to a lot of this to people is, why do you care? Like, I'm just trying to get my chips on too. Like, fuck.
Because
well, they're draining your social service. That's where your taxes are going. Oh my god! Take a deep breath. Yep. Eat a fucking edible. Whatever you need to do. Whatever you need to do, lady. Because like, I'm done with it. I'm sorry. Yeah.
No, it's literally like point millions of zeros. 1% of our taxes go to shit like that. Like, it's so small. And we need a military for sure. We should have national defense, but we don't need to be all over the fucking globe policing and I don't know. There's just a lot of things. But then, like, look what Biden did. Like, oh, we're going to evacuate this country and leave Al-Qaeda their fucking, or wait, was it Al-Qaeda, ISIS? I don't know. Whoever the fuck we left all that
ISIS.
shit for. Oh,
yeah.
God. We are
entire tanks and stuff.
I couldn't even fucking believe that. I'm like, oh, we're going to leave them all of this shit we paid for? Oh.
That must not have mattered.
Really fucking bad idea, because if you're gonna actually like go over and involve us in some shit, probably don't want to do stuff like that. Like, oh no, we're just gonna leave it there, have all the equipment and weapons, and bye.
Hey, Mr. Taliban banana.
Jeez.
But very true, very true. I left on AI and came back to Taliban, so that's fine.
Really turn a blind eye when we're at the point in life where if you turn a blind eye, you are part of the problem, and you cannot deny that. It's just how it is.
That you hit the nail on the head. Is that what you say it? I want to be creative. I want to talk shop with you. I would love to just go online and talk about Ghostbusters for 4 hours, but the world's falling apart around us, guys. Like, we need to be doing both. But I also think that entertainment and indie entertainment now more than ever is probably important. We need to stick together. Yes. We need to make cool things. We need to get away from bad toxic systems that are taking us down. Like, we need to be proactive. I don't want to be activist. I hate that word. But like, a lot of people will come to me and like, I'm unfollowing you, man, because all you do is complain and bitch. I'm like, I'm not complaining and bitching. I'm telling you facts, and you just don't want to hear it. Like, I don't complain. I don't bitch. I just share shit.
I'm
That's
not
the
down
facts.
with
You don't
toxic
like it.
positivity.
I basically
I want
basically-
results. Like,
Yeah.
when are we gonna, like, when is the pendulum? Like, you said Tim Pool, and I saw a clip earlier where he was talking about, okay, is this like, where's the assassination of Franz Ferdinand? Where's the moment where World War One started?
Mhm.
You know, where was the shot heard around the world for us to go, okay, this is enough? And you know what? I was Costco, or was it? I heard another food company place. They got, you know, no, so there's a place called Trader Joe's or something like that, and they have a beer called Trader Jose, and a lot of people got PO'd about it and called racist.
Yeah.
And
Of course.
the company says, I guess, sorry, we don't make decisions based on anger or outrage. It just told them basically fuck off. And I was like, oh man, is it starting? Is it starting? Are we there yet? Is it, you know what I mean? That's what I mean. We have to be. I don't know if maybe
good point here.
I have a family and it changed everything. I was a teacher and it changed everything. I learned I was part of the problem as a teacher. It's one of the reasons why I got out of teaching. I didn't want to be a part of the problem. But you know, we're not going to have anybody to buy our art, or if we're not also trying to be adults living in a country as well. We cannot just go into our cell phone worlds and be what we wanted to be when we were 5 and just stay there. We just can't. And I know it sucks.
Yeah.
We got to pull our heads out of our ass. We need to come together and be good human beings to each other and try to fix some of this stuff.
Yeah, there's a country to run.
Just as important as, I mean,
a world to live.
One of the reasons
it's not give.
Go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead.
One of the reasons that TikTok is being banned is because there are so many people making videos calling for a revolution and inciting that, and there are so many people on board with it and talking about it, and they're terrified that it's going to happen. That's the only reason they're banning it, because we are communicating too much and we're going to use it to fucking take over because we're sick of the shit. Why the fuck can we not like, why is inflation so high and the cost of living so high, but we're not making shit? There should be no reason that 2 adults with 1 child working full time can't pay bills.
Yeah, and they could have in the 50s, and a house and a car and life insurance and shit.
Yeah.
Our life insurance is crazy now.
Tell me this. Why are people who build McDonald's burgers making more than first-year teacher?
Yep, that's fair too.
In commie California, and I say this as a Californian. I don't live there anymore. I got out. I live in Kentucky. Thank the Lord. I got out a long time ago. But how is that? And I worked at McDonald's. I was a manager. We don't deserve that. Because look, 1, the food is shit. 2, you can't make it right anyway. And third, do you know what the highest cost for a restaurant is? Oh, it's the
Not
food.
much.
No, it ain't. It's your ass, asshole. It's your labor cost. So if labor costs go up, guess what your burger's going to cost? And I said this 15 years ago. I said it's going to cost $18. Guess what a Big Mac cost in San Francisco? $21.
I bet.
What the fuck? What did you think was going to happen? It's basic economics, man. This is. I'm sorry. It just strikes a nerve when it just like how is this? How does anybody not go? Wait a minute, dude. The domino effect. No, screw it. Passion, fever, cell phone, popularity, outrage.
Be mad, yeah.
Spoiled rotten. Like what in the world?
It doesn't matter what job you do, you should still be able to survive. So yes, they should get paid more, but of course a teacher should get paid far more. So like while they do
That's why the minimum wage increases slowly, so that the living cost goes with it. You can't just increase the cost of living decrease the cost of labor dramatically. You know, it's a broken system, but it was trying to do something.
A manager at McDonald's should be able to survive.
I didn't make $21 as a manager at McDonald's.
No, but maybe you should.
Sure fuck did not.
Compared to the cost of living, just like teachers should be
probably
45 or whatever an hour to survive. You know what I mean? Like, this is fucking not okay.
Yeah, if somebody's like feeding the intelligence of your children, they should probably be able to eat when they go home or not worry about bills.
And I
They're
know
cultivating.
I know. I'm sorry. You're right. And I know that outside of maybe California and a few other states, there's no paraeducators, and these are like the teachers' assistants that are in the classrooms that are basically like first sergeants. Like if you think of the military, you got the lieutenant, you got the gritty sergeant who's been through everything and knows everything the teacher does, but he doesn't have the stripes. Those people they're not getting paid $21 an hour. No fucking way. I had to do that for
No.
like 2 years, and I got paid before I left, I was getting paid $12 an hour, and I was working same hours as a teacher. But you go to McDonald's and they'll screw your order up for $21
Yeah.
an
Yeah,
hour.
they'll screw it up for $21 an hour.
But California is just so expensive to live in too, and like they need to really figure it out. So California gets the most tourism and the most money, but their citizens have the highest cost of living, and same with New York. It is fucking insane. There is no reason for it. They're living on top of each other in a like covered in fucking fleas and crime. And
Yep.
it's like you can buy a shack for $700,000 that's dilapidated as fuck, and if you're lucky.
Right.
But where
And
are people just? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Just real quick, Evelyn makes that good point about just opening up the borders. Don't get me wrong. Everybody in America is an immigrant. Okay, Superman is an immigrant, and he represents the American way. Right? He's the ultimate immigrant. He's an alien. So that's not what everybody's contesting. It's the strategy involved with flooding a population with another population. And the differences in mindsets and manipulation of numbers, and it's just a big game of Risk, essentially. Just some sort of weird modern version of it. I don't even fucking know, dude. It's crazy though.
Well, people thinking with their emotions first, like, oh, so you don't want illegal immigrants to come over here? I'm like, no, you see, okay, take your emotions out of it. Susan, Karen, whatever the fuck your name is. And
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Alicia.
and I'll break it down to you like I did my kindergartners. All right, I have these people over here. We'll just use these beads, okay? And or I break it down to them like, okay, if that's the case, then I need you to give me some of your money in your house. I want some stuff of your house. That's ridiculous, right? But think of America as your house, right? You wouldn't let that happen in your house. Why the hell are you letting it happen in your country? And when we're and it's if you think about the numbers and you think about the fact that it's not good even for the people coming here, it's not good. Then you can really understand and make a difference. But people are so damn they think with their emotions now. It's like emotions first, and it's just so it's insane. It's insane to talk to somebody because their truth needs to be spoken. Usually their truth is not the truth. So be careful when someone says, I'm speaking my truth. My truth are facts. But
the truth. There's one truth.
Right. So, and then I don't know, man. You could go off on it we could go off on this like for forever.
Just imagine being a veteran. Imagine being a homeless veteran, and then you see them lining up a bunch of immigrants to
giving them cell phones and keys to apartments and hotels and food while you're sitting there going, I lost my leg trying to save my buddy in the IED explosion in Iraq, and I'm sitting here. That is,
I got lead in my butt.
I come from a long line of military service members, and that one thing just chaps my ass. I'm like, dude, charity starts at home. Let's take care of us first, and then we'll take care of other people. It's like, well, the immigrants flooded and they came here. Remember, give them the tired, sick, and the poor, Statue of Liberty. We all remember that. You want to know why? Because we were booming industrial and we needed damn labor.
Right.
That's why we don't need that anymore. We don't need that influx. We don't need your tired, broken. And guess what? We're not even getting their tired, sick, poor, and people actually fleeing persecution. We're getting a mix of different people who are coming here for different reasons that are not clear. So it's dangerous. It's dangerous.
When you say completely open, you're saying open to all people. Like, okay, you can make that sound good, but do you mean criminals?
What's wrong with saying
too?
legally? Like, legally pisses them off too. Like, what do you mean legally? Well, why should that fucking make you mad? Of course, legally. Why are we talking
Yes.
about this? Sky is blue, up is down. I mean, up is up,
Yes.
down is down. Legal, right? We all agree?
Mhm.
No, we don't agree on that anymore, man. And that, dude.
Yeah. That's
I don't
that's
know, man.
frustrating.
I
That's
don't want to be an
awesome.
alarmist, but how the
Right.
hell do you break people out of that? You
Well,
know?
also
How do you get them out of that?
there's the whole thing of like I was just what was it? Somebody was just talking about the Civil War the other day, and one of the things that Lincoln, like, because we were talking about tactics. It was with Zani. We were talking about the Confederate gold and stuff like that. Like, because it's just some more conspiracies that he collects and stuff like that. But he was talking about how one of the plans that the Confederacy had was to basically gather up all the economy that they had left, which was enough for 2 French legions, and then they could like deploy those legions in certain spots, and it would have like changed the war and stuff like that. And essentially, one of the tactics that the North did was they just open borders, all immigrants come, just join the army. And I think we're going to see that again. They're talking about it. They're at least joking about it right now. But it's like, no, that's not very far away. They're already talking about open borders. And the next thing you do is just add a little requirement, like, oh yeah, just any man over the age of 18, essentially, you get free citizenship if you if you serve. And then who are you going to listen to? You know what I mean? If
these guys are telling us how that's not communism and that's not, total fucking Marxism. Like, okay, feudalism. Okay, sorry, it's not. Serve, you get citizenship. That's Orwellian, dude.
And the last time it was
it's
implemented
liberty.
was yeah, dude. And like the last time it was implemented was when the country was ripped apart. Are you kidding? Like we weren't even a country at that time, basically.
Dude, every time, like when you said that, I went right to the movie. Is it Gangs of New York with Daniel Day-Lewis and Leonardo DiCaprio, where their street gangs are fighting and like during Civil War, where those Irish guys are like coming off the boat and you see them going through the process.
That's who they brought.
And they're
That's
like,
who they brought.
And here's another thing while we're on the subject, we can say what we want about everybody, but why do we always forget about how horrible white people treated other white people, especially the Irish in this country? Like,
my Welsh ancestors are.
Everybody treats everybody horrible. It is just human beings, man.
You want to talk about how bad white people are? I'll tell you, because Wales, man, we just famously good slaves. We are docile and obedient, and
the Welsh. Is that what you say? Oh no.
Yeah, we're just skinny little dweebs that'll roll over when the Vikings come, essentially,
if I saw the Vikings coming too, man, and they did berserker shit, they came out with that paint. What the hell are you like? Are you gonna fight them?
Are you gonna fight the berserkers? Are you gonna fight that naked erect man with the bear skin on? Are you gonna fight that naked erect man? No, I'm
negative, Ghost Rider.
I just saw that dude with the red beard rip out somebody's jugular with his teeth. Oh, his beard is actually blonde. That's not red. That's blood. Okay. Shit. I'm not gonna fight that guy.
He's laughing hysterically. He's running this way. What should we do? Yeah. I don't know. Let's just put our swords down and say, I am your slave. I am Welsh. Okay. Let's see if it works.
The church is that way. They have a lot of gold. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I reckon it probably didn't. I don't know about. I know a little bit about Viking culture, but I'm not sure if I surrender would have worked.
No.
No. They would have. They're coming for you. They're taking anybody who's of killing. Right. They didn't really show mercy much, right?
Okay. So they were based in their own ways. So like it's not like you can't reason with them, right? They respect what they respect. So if you can kind of get on the same wavelength with them,
Klingons?
and this is why, basically, well, like essentially, that's why Vikings eventually became Christians. Eventually, Christians got on the same wavelength as them, and it just kind of started sticking. Even though they kind of misinterpreted a lot of the Northern Vikings with like the French Gauls over here because of Rome, so they had this like kind of like universal stereotype of Gauls, which also included the Vikings and stuff, but I digress. But like, yeah, you could essentially display your
Gauls
strength.
aren't Nordic.
Oh, no, cool. there's Western European Gauls, which goes into even Spain. Spain was all Gaul. France, Western Germany. Then you have like
No
the
way.
then you have like the northern tribes, the Germanic tribes, right? Which is different from the Nords, which the Nords are in the far north. The Romans would call those blonde people. So there's white people and blonde people, right? The Romans referred to themselves as white, and the Nords as like blonde, right? Because they're so white that they're blonde. They're whiter than white, right? There's also British Gauls, which is like where my ancestors come from, with like Wales. It's all fascinating,
Oh,
dude,
cool.
and they're all different cultures. Really, really fascinating stuff. Kind of like a bunch
The reason
of
I
brothers.
asked, yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, you did, yeah. My high school, when I started, like my first 2 years of high school, we were the Gauls, and we had a
Oh.
Viking helmet on our fucking logo.
Oh, you had a Viking helmet?
It didn't look like, like, I wouldn't say, like, if you were to go AI, give me a Viking helmet, it was a little off. It was different. It looked weird. I never really questioned it, never asked anybody, but I probably wasn't gonna get a straight answer anyway. But yeah, it was like an outline. We had like a blue outline of like a horns and like a roundish kind of helmet. It wasn't really like too scary, but we were the Gauls. Yeah.
Hell yeah, that can be scary, to be honest. I'm double
I don't know.
checking
We
something.
sucked. Like I was the quarterback, so we were not scary.
Literally, I cannot stand. Look, stay in your fucking lane. I'm gonna fucking. Oh my god, you guys! I swear to fucking God, this is why I got off, because I'm driving through Minneapolis and I've already had 2 different people cut me off and 3 people like just swerve right into my fucking lane because no one can fucking drive. Oh, I'm so irritated. So all I'm gonna do is be muted and road rage with people.
Be
I
safe.
understand. Yeah, please be safe.
I'm
Real
trying
quick.
not to. Like, this bitch got mad at me for honking. Well, you're a foot in my fucking lane. And then there's a concrete barrier. Where the fuck am I gonna go?
Right.
I swear to God.
I'll catch up.
Something to add.
Yes.
You guys before is that the people who give a shit about what were you saying?
Immigration.
Oh, it's like one big virtue signal. That's all it is.
Yeah.
About like the immigrants and shit. It's just like the people like that preach about gay rights and loving everyone, and those same people ghost their own family because they can't have a simple conversation with them, like over nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like how most people that are mad about cultural appropriation are literally only people that are actually racist. So like, for example, black women telling white women they can't wear braids.
Right.
Braids or dreads. Well, we have since the dawn of fucking time too, but whatever. Yep. Just like we've also had white people be slaves since the dawn of fucking time, and it's white people that cannot stop speaking on behalf of people of color. Why don't you sit down and shut the fuck up and let them speak about how they feel themselves?
Like, stop being oppressed on other people's behalfs.
Yes. Yeah, China has a word for white liberals.
So they must not care that much. And most people, when you ask them, they're more than happy to share their culture because it's their beliefs and like they're proud of the way that their culture is. So it makes no sense. Very rarely, I mean, like the only time I've actually like been bothered about something, and it's not because I have a little native, I have a little of everything actually.
No, I'm sensitive
Chinese
when it comes to,
African
I'm right there with you.
Shit. But like I don't. So anyway, like I was raised to have a lot of like native beliefs and things like that, and like I was at High Times, I brought it up the other night, and I saw a bunch of girls dressed like slutty natives wearing like headdresses and like skanky. It was disgusting, and I was just like, what the fuck? Like, what even is the point? I wasn't like upset though. I was just like, what a bunch of fucking idiots, you know? But at the same time, like they're free to. That's the thing though. It's a free country, so you're free to be a fucking idiot if you want. And just like I'm free to be like, you look like a fucking moron.
Agreed. Agreed. We all
If you're
have,
free to do that, then I'm free to tell you how I feel about it, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. And people get mad at me for calling people assholes or like, oh, you're just. Well, no. If you want to be an asshole, I'm gonna tell you about it. Like you should expect. I expect if I'm acting like a fucking asshole for someone to tell me.
Yep, I say that all the time. You better
Yeah.
check my ass too if I go off the rails. I tell that to my wife, my best friends, everybody. I'm like, dude, I've had managers pull me away from tables when I'm serving them because I'm like, oh, you roll your eyes at me, I will throw you. But
right.
I expect the same thing from other people, and what's really crazy is I feel like everything that I was taught to do is now wrong.
Guys, I'm about to fucking.
Right.
And
That's part of the
I'm
goal,
the
I think.
problem, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
a core tenet.
it's crazy. So
Yeah. Yeah. Core tenet of Marxism is the system is the problem.
I can't hear you.
Which
guys,
there's
and my
problems in every
Bluetooth won't
system.
work. So I shut off the video and then tried to put it on my Bluetooth, and the sound was coming out of the radio. But then as soon as I open StreamYard, it goes through my phone and it's not compatible with the Bluetooth. So it's really irritating because my exhaust is out and I can't hear you guys if you guys are like on my vent stand. Can you
You
guys
actually
hear
are coming.
about it?
You're coming through pretty clear, actually.
So it's not like really loud with my
Yeah.
exhaust.
Right. I think StreamYard has it.
No, it sounds like you're in a car.
It's loud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My phone's all the way up and I can't hear you guys.
Not too
doing
bad.
this shit unless you're right by my face like this.
Yeah. Well, it's doing all right, and unless chat can vouch for any other problems. But really quick, speaking of chat, I'm just gonna hop right in here. Evele says he's impressed that we pulled Bruce Willis. I am too.
Hey,
Bruce is the
Andy,
man. Yeah.
I didn't even notice that was him in the vent. That's in the vent. That's fucking hilarious. I did not notice. I thought it was just a picture of our guest.
That's my spirit animal.
Yeah.
Oh god. Andy, did you soak the pot?
John, John McClane. Oh, I'm sorry.
The rice is good, babe. Yeah, there's lots of leftover rice when you get home. It turned out good. It didn't stick.
But did you put it away?
Yeah. I did. Yeah. Sorry. Yes. Sorry. What were you saying, Mr. Willis?
John McClane, my spirit animal.
Yeah.
The older I get, the more I just relate to the man. Every time he's just trying to do his job. He's going through the human condition. And every time he turns around, it's like, oh, you kidding me? Like, Jesus.
It's very American of him. Very, very American of him to just go through all that bullshit constantly, man.
Right.
Evely says,
"How the hell is that not a good role model?" Sorry.
He's a cop too. So I mean, yeah, he does a lot of action hero shit, but I'd say better than probably Mission Impossible or James Bond. He's got his problems, though. He's a flawed person, if I remember right. I can't remember very well. I got to watch it again. But the term white people is pretty dumb, says Evely. Way too broad to be accurate or helpful. You're right. Oh, imagine that. It's almost like there actually isn't any white person on the planet, except for maybe if you cover your skin in chalk or something. Kahuna said, naked people, what did I miss? Everything. Everything. Mostly the Viking Inquisition.
A lot.
CA says Spain was mostly Goths, I thought. Now, I jump around so much in history, I can't tell you when or what. All I know is the Romans kind of used the term barbarian to classify everybody and said everybody was Gallic. So I think at one point Spain was Gaul. I could be wrong, though. The Goths were a little later, I think. I think the term Goth is a later thing, like kind of more around Turkey. If I remember right. Let me see. And I thought the Latins were in Spain. Yeah, see, like there could be a lot of people. I'm just looking at the Roman viewpoint of it because of like the firsthand accounts. A lot of them just like refer to them as Gauls. So when you look at the Roman Empire around them, like basically right around all of them, they just viewed all of them as Gauls at one point. So Forgive my lack of
How
specifics here.
extremely racist of them.
I know. It's almost like when you other people, bad things happen. It's almost like empires
no.
can't even stand when you start othering. They
Like to
thrive
sum
and they
up,
expand.
yeah, I think to sum up the last hour when someone said what I missed, it's like we missed. You missed basically saying that like stupidity.
Oh, we will. We lost Mr. Hicks. He'll come back though.
Oh, I'm
He will come
sorry.
back.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, there you are. I can hear you now. Yeah.
Sorry.
You back?
Apologies. Yeah, I
No,
can
you're
hear you
good.
guys.
Okay, cool. What were you saying?
To sum up the last hour, it's like we're not dealing with intelligent people anymore. We're completely backward system.
Yeah, that's true, man. Yeah, there's signs. People talk about signs of the end of an empire and stuff like that. Like, I know it's because it's a talking point at this point, but like I know everybody's heard about like, during the fall of the Roman Empire, they got super obsessed with gender and stuff like that. Like, it's almost like every single talking point that gets brought up these days is almost a universal thing, or at least they claim it always has been. But a lot of the historians that like I have seen look into this can pretty strongly refute some stuff. But and they're pretty generous about things too. Like listen, like, yeah, this person probably was gay, but it says this, just so you know what I mean. Just so we're clear,
Right.
They weren't saying in the books that they were. This is just modern people most of it is modern people kind of assuming, you know what I mean? So who knows? What if it was like super acceptable to just like have a really, really good close guy friend? You know what I mean? Imagine having a male friend. But I digress. There's probably some gays in there too, which is fine. Gays, to each their own, you know?
No, I think I understand what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah. But they're so quick to, as soon as like any new topic gets brought up, it's very quickly just like, oh, that's always been there, you know, like, oh, this has always been a thing, like da 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 da. Here's this loose example that is actually disprovable or whatever. Which is why it's been argued about. You know?
Yeah. If you follow the path of history, you find out like, oh, denying history and cherry picking the history has not started off really good. You know, it's like, how do you not see like the writings on the wall? Like, history will tell you, like, if you, when in doubt, look at the history. And if things are going the same way as it went before, and we know how that went, why are we doing that? Like, human beings, do we want to evolve, or do we just want to be monkeys going shit at each other?
Dude, for real. It's like, what did all the thousands of years and all the cumulative sickness of our entire species and all the suffering and death and accomplishments amount to? If we're just gonna,
so we can go backwards,
right?
I don't think so.
Come on now.
Do you know how many people would be really extremely? That is extremely disrespectful for the people who have died for our country.
Yes, and when the chips are on the table, buddy, who do you think's gonna fight harder, the invader or the defender in that situation? Because the art of war will tell you.
Right.
The art of war will tell you the defender. Yeah, we got, because think about it, and why I say it like that.
Unless the Chinese are playing the ultimate con, where they're going to take the world away from us and then come at us where we have no ally, and then we're fucked.
Yeah, kind of like Leave the World Behind, a little bit.
Is that the premise of that? No.
Kind of, yeah. Leave the World Behind was made by the Obamas. It's on Netflix. You can go watch it right now. Not a terrible watch.
No.
There's a little bit of.
I'm afraid to watch it.
Oh man, it's a pretty realistic scenario. It's typical like end of the world scenario, like you see in any other movies with the bombs dropping or whatever. But it's from the perspective of like a well-to-do rural like celebrity outfit, kind of just like the elites, you know. So there, you don't really actually see any raiders or anything like that, but you can kind of see from this comfortable perspective what's actually all going down. And what it is it's the Obamas. What? You want me to full screen that?
No, but Andy, the one that I got 2/8 of, it smells like fucking shit, dude. Like, you know it's.
Is that a good shit, dude, or is that a
I think it's a
bad
good
shit?
shit.
It reeks.
I think it's
That's a good shit, dude. Hell yeah, mahalo.
So anyway,
That's my little wink to people. Are you cool? Yeah, I'm cool. And then I go, okay, mahalo. If you mahalo back, then you know what I mean.
Oh yeah,
that's the Cali in me. We used mahalo motherfuckers on the beach. That's how you would see if somebody was. That's how you see if somebody was holding.
Yeah.
Mahalo.
Yeah. You gotta have something. You gotta have some sort of like.
and I don't drink, you know, and you know, so.
Yeah, same.
I remember going to California before it was recreationally illegal, and my friend had her medical card, and we would go places all the time, and they would let me in the dispensary and let me buy shit, and I'd buy shit off my debit card, and it'd get like charged to some like carpet company, and like no one cares there.
Yeah.
Shout outs to RJ William, our little green bean in the chat.
My girlfriend Nat, I think we're actually going to start a weekly show, but her and I, she's from San Diego. We would drive around and we would hotbox this shit out of her Durango with like just blunt after blunt. And one time we pulled up to the gas station and we pulled over there because we could not, it was like pure white in her. We couldn't see anything, and then we got
out. Smoke is just started
thick,
though.
blowing out, and everyone was just like, "Oh, it was so funny." Good times.
Oh yeah.
One weird thing happened though. So we were in the drive-thru smoking, and there was at Del Taco, and there was these people like at the counter. And
you said Del Taco.
Yelling at us. So they come out. We sell them some weed. Found out they were from Minnesota, and so they got my number and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, I can like. You know, they asked if I had a connect here. I'm like, well, I can be your connect, you know. So they hit me up in Minnesota, and they were like asking me to get them Coke and shit. And I'm like, oh, I can't help you. It was super sketchy too. Like, were they like the way they looked? I don't know. It was really sketchy though. I'm like, who the fuck are these? And they looked like not the type. I don't know. It weird.
Maybe they're opportunistic and they're like, let's ask if she has Coke, but let's like be excited about it because you know Coke gives you energy. Yeah.
I swear.
I don't know.
Was any other time, or like, okay, no, this is the time. If I ever thought I was talking to an undercover cop, it would be them. And I swear, like it just really, really weirded me out. But I was like if I don't know, I'm sure I could get Coke from several people, but it was weird.
Not that way. I know. Trust your dude. Always trust your gut. I mean, it's better. It's like it's almost better to ask for forgiveness than it is for permission. So, like, if your gut's telling you to run, something's fishy. Just listen to yourself.
Yeah, I'll listen to your intuition. And Andy has learned this the hard way. There's been several times where I've like told him something for whatever reason because I like had a feeling or whatever, and he didn't listen to me, and it like bit him in the ass, and he was like, I'm gonna start listening to you.
Yeah, I've said that.
Some of it's hard to swallow. I deal with that being married myself.
No,
where it's like I have a, you know, where we.
I got to me a good. Andy is also really down with like my tarot reading and stuff. I actually gave him readings before we got together, like started dating and everything, and it was funny because in one of the readings I got like a card, and I'm like, oh, you're gonna, you know, like meet a love interest, and she's probably gonna have some kind of like either like psychic abilities or maybe she reads tarot or something, and like I was not talking about me either. And
sure, that is the sweetest pickup line ever. You
No,
hooked him
so
up.
listen, I
You
swear to
put
God.
that hook out, and you got him,
Listen to
man.
my story. Jesus. So he realized that when I kept talking, I was not talking about me. And like it went on for like after I gave him the reading, like I still like didn't show any interest in him or anything like that. It wasn't until like he said he was out of weed because his dealer was quarantining, and I brought him some, and he asked, and the only reason I even went up, I was just going to drop it off and leave, because like I did not want a relationship at all, and I was like dead set on like I'm just gonna do my own thing. It's about time. I've always been with someone, and I just want to live my life. And the only reason I went up to his apartment is because of, I don't know, he had like a seedy looking apartment, you know, and I'm like kind of low income, and I'm like, I'll just like, I don't want this to look like the drug deal it is. And so like I went up, and we ended up just talking about shit, and I stayed till like 8 in the morning. But like I swear to you, I swear I did not like think it was about me at all. I promise you. That's all. I just have to make that.
Well, that's like one hell of a story.
What do you guys think of having one more squeezed in here? One more person.
Excuse me.
Is
I
it
was choking.
Kahuna?
Yes.
Mahalo.
Mahalo.
What? Chris,
So,
do you
yes.
do you know Kahuna?
No, but I like the Kahuna. Like
You'll
Yes.
love him. You'll love him. He's
Kahuna,
awesome.
bruh.
Do you want to,
Kahuna, bruh.
yeah, come on in. Our guest
All right,
doesn't
he's-
mind you're allowed. No, he's just he literally comes on all of the time at random when we're on stream, and they do their own weekly show too.
Kahuna says you manipulated me for that cake.
If I'm being totally honest, I actually one of the reasons that when I look at people, I'm not attracted to them. Like I can say objectively, like yes, that woman or man is like attractive, right? But I never am attracted to people like just off, you know, I have to get to know someone. But I did think he had a really adorable smile, and like I have a thing like, I don't know, I don't like perfectly straight teeth, and I don't know, like his teeth are crooked, but I thought it was cute, and he like had nice charisma and stuff. But Andy is almost 3 years younger than me, and I never thought I would be with someone younger than me. It was like a huge, like, it was weird for me at first, actually. So that was one of the reasons
I can hear you, Kahuna.
I never would have thought.
Oh, there we go.
Anything like. And Andy is the one who asked me to cuddle with him because I had my tailbone surgery.
Ew, gross.
Of course he did. Like,
and so we were like sitting at on chairs at a table in his room, and he had the giant room in the apartment, and I was like, hey, like my butt's getting really sore. Can I lay on your bed? And then he asked if I wanted to cuddle, and I was like, sure. And then he made me watch fucking My Strange Addiction, where this bitch was like stealing dirty diapers out of dumpsters and chewing on them, you guys.
Yeah, that's
Ew,
about
what
the
the
way that
F?
show goes.
And then I knew he was the one for me. But he says that he wanted to get with me right away because of me talking about my butthole at the blackjack table. So
whoa!
Gotta get it.
Wow.
Gotta get
This
it.
is like one of the cool. This is one of the coolest
AC,
streams I've ever
AC,
been
I
on.
heard bits and pieces.
Like,
Katie,
dude,
I think you manipulated him.
I told everyone
She
at the
just
blackjack
said
table.
that. Like, she tells people like what time it is. What time is it? 4 o'clock. Oh, well, I think I got it because I talked about my butthole. I'm like, whoa, hi, nice to meet you.
No, so what happened was when we were at the table, I was having a real hard struggle after my surgery, and I finally like felt social again. That's why I played blackjack after not playing for 5 years, and it was right before the shutdowns, and I was already feeling really isolated for many reasons, not to do with COVID. And so I felt like, I just wanted like some social connection. And then I told them about my surgery and told them how they made me wait over a year getting adjustments and stuff like that before I had the surgery. So it was like a long whole thing. And then so I explained to them about the way they adjust your tailbone when it's dislocated at a 90-degree angle pointing forward in your body. They put fingers up your ass and like yank that shit back, and it's like PTSD type pain. But so it was not like I'm just talking about my butthole for no reason or something. So
wow. Okay.
Yeah, she didn't just,
context matters. Context matters, kiddos.
But I'll still talk about buttholes and have a dick drawn on my face in public. I don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the weirdest thing. I used to do that to myself, but anyway, that's a whole different thing.
And you guys know what time it is? It's
Game time?
1 minute.
4:20 somewhere because it's 8:20 now.
Oh, that's a good call. But yeah, actually, you guys can all take a moment to praise your green gods any way you like in this 1 minute.
What the funny thing is, I just did that.
Lit. 1 minute from our sponsors, real quick. Check it out. Anvil.
Perfect. Nice. Nice. Nice.
Andy, it's not loud enough.
It is now. Based.
Anvil. That's right. I had it on a loop.
Okay.
My bad.
Tremendously based.
Yes.
You probably shouldn't call them our sponsors for legal reasons, though, because they're not.
Legally distinct, non-sponsored, sponsored
Yes.
people. Right.
Yes. We donate.
They're our sponsor in Minecraft.
Yes. Our Minecraft sponsors, Evele Music and Iron
That's
Age
even
Media.
worse.
I actually got direct permission from them. I basically said that we would be donating time, and they're both cool with it. But Evele wants to fight that guy. Evele wants to fight that guy. And
I thought that was pretty cool.
I'll tell you a secret, Evely. That guy in that video, toughest battle of your life. Good luck.
yeah, that would be the toughest. Dude, it's him.
The only one
you
who
don't
can
know.
beat me is me.
It's me. Yes. Yeah.
Emily, you need to get out of your own way.
He's doing just fine in his life. I need to get out of my way. I have enough enemies, let alone myself.
Mm-hmm. Oh wow. RJ Williams says he visited Ireland and they said Britain is a better preserved language than Irish, which I believe because Irish kind of got the shaft from themselves, like you were just saying, Kahuna. The only
they can't understand a damn word you're saying.
Yeah.
Have you gone to northern? Go to north of England on the island. It's just as bad or worse.
Yeah.
I got to spend a whole day in Dublin because I had like a 9.5-hour layover. And so I left and went around, had some Irish breakfast at a pub, shit like that, saw their little walk of fame. And you know what? This lady asked me for a cigarette at a cafe, and it was my last one that I was smoking. And so I told her, no, I'm sorry, it's my last one. I got to go get some. And she lost her fucking mind. People in Ireland are so extra. She's like, damn this fucking place to hell, you fucking and I'm just like, what the fuck?
Going on, Bones?
Holy.
I mean,
You
she's
fucking
having a
cunts.
fucking meltdown.
Yeah.
But there's people doing shit like that all over. I mean, I was really surprised how like vulgar they talk. I mean, they just really are swearing all over the place and lunatics, really. They play
Kate,
music and fucking lose their minds. It's great.
Katie, you
Damn,
know
really?
why? You know why, right?
Because they're all drunk.
That and their accent. It makes people don't get offended as easily because they make it sound funny when they swear. That's why.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like a
They do.
superpower.
It is, yeah.
Like, oh, you there after me fucking Lucky Charms,
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
My uncle used to say, you know when a drunk man's mad at you? He goes, no. He said, when his fist hits you in the face, that's when you know he's mad at you.
How
He gets,
I think Russians are always mad when they're talking, but they're just not. They're like, no, I'm just talking to my mom, you know. And they're like, you know,
dude, you know the ones that always sound mad? Vietnamese. They always sound like they're
Yeah.
yelling at their kids.
They're
Like,
very
cry out
aggressive
loud.
sounding, yeah.
I
German and
think-
Russian is pretty intense too.
I see people.
I used to tell my friends, what did she say? She said, I hope I have a good day. I'm like, that did not sound like that. That did not sound like have a good
Why
day,
did she
bro.
throw-
Don't lie.
Why did she
Don't
throw
lie.
her flip-flop at you?
Right.
Yeah.
No, dude, they do that. They do.
It's
Yeah,
so
I know.
common.
All islanders do that.
It's so
Oh.
common in America, you guys, where I see people just talking to their fucking little kids like they're just pieces of shit or fucking idiots. And I get so fucking mad, man. I've said so many times loudly right in front of them, like, God, like, I wish my fucking son was alive in here for me to not treat like that. You know, like, I'll
Yeah.
make comments. I get so fucking mad. Like, stop treating your fucking children like that. It's disgusting. Well, we're
I
on
know
the
what we're
talking to your kids.
I know what we're doing when we go to Europe
Yeah.
someday, babe. By
Like,
the way.
you must not have lost a child. Like, that's so horrible that you're. I mean, even before we lost Olin, but especially after we lost him, like a few weeks after that, I was in a gas station and someone was like grabbing their kid all rude and like yelling at them for something tiny, and I like started bawling. It was. I mean, I got to my car first, but it really, really upset me. So I'm just throwing that out there for no real reason. I just.
No, I feel you, Katie, but there is a balance. It's like you don't want to be the person who's yelling at their kid, but at the same time, I'm more upset at people who don't discipline their children at all.
Oh,
I
I'm
think
not
that's
talking
I
about
think it's a
like,
bigger problem. Yeah.
discipline. I let people parent. They can parent how they want and discipline how they want. But if you're straight up talking to your kid like they're an idiot, like there's a difference for sure. I promise.
Oh, yeah,
Like
yeah.
people are
Right.
just like, knock it off. We're gonna leave right now. Like, you know, like if they're actually like disciplining their kid, that's fine. But I mean, I've seen people that are like, why the fuck are you doing that? Shut the fuck up. Like, I've actually heard people tell their kids to shut the fuck up all the time. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
I'm a
Like,
hothead when I'm passionate, but I would never tell a kid to shut the fuck. Like, they're children. They don't
Well,
understand. They don't understand their emotions. They haven't learned how to control
Yeah.
their feelings. Like, you're not obviously teaching them how to do it because you can't do it yourself while you're cussing at your child. Like, I feel
Right.
horrible for these kids. I want to take them home
Yeah.
Yeah, they
and
can't
show them
look at their own
what
feelings.
love
How can
really
they teach them?
means. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Protection.
it's like, it's one thing if you're like, hey, knock it out. I've told you several times, we don't act like that in public. You know, there's different things you can say to them where you can tell like they're just disciplining their child. But like if you're just gonna tell them shut up over and over while you're on your phone and like not even explain, like you're not even trying to reason with them or tell them why, you know, like it's insane. Like teach them. That's your fucking job.
Well,
And
you teach them and
also-
show them what their expectations are, and you don't budge, and you won't have to correct them as much in public. Problem
Yeah,
solved.
and
Happy
it
happy
also
kid.
really bothers me
Like,
when
what?
people are like, I put a roof over your head. I feed. Like, stop holding.
No, I would never do that to a child.
Right, because you did
They're,
not give
they
them
carry
the
that
gift-
with them.
You did not give them the gift of life. Life gave you the gift of them. Get it fucking right.
Yeah.
It's the other way
That's true.
around. And why would
Yeah.
you put those burdens on a little kid? They carry that shit with
Oh,
you, with
sorry.
them
Well,
as they get older.
I've never done anything
I
quite
just,
like that. What I will. Oh, sorry. What I will say is I'll tell my oldest, hey, you're the oldest. Your younger brother's watching what you do. So what you do doesn't just affect you. It'll change the way your brother acts. Do you want your brother acting the way you do? It's the pressure of being the oldest, and I was the oldest too. So maybe it's just something that I grew up with, but I don't know. I think there's value in that. I definitely acted
there's
better
super
because I had an expectation.
super value in that. I tell people all the time, what happens when you put coal under pressure?
Diamonds.
You get diamonds.
Or you cook
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, right. I mean, okay. What happens if you put the right amount of pressure under coal?
There you go. Yeah. This is how we speak these days. This is the modern tongue. Like, definitions. That's right. Definitions really matter. I mean, this way.
Let's break this down with facts and logic. Okay.
Yes. Literally. Like, you have to these days, because people just like one little hair is sticking out and they'll run away with it. You know?
Well, that's the thing too. That's why I don't engage in real debate. I'll debate things that are fun and are more subjective. When it comes to objective
Batman
stuff,
versus Superman.
Yeah,
I'm all for that.
Oh
debate.
yeah, things that really matter, like Batman versus Superman. No,
right.
But like debate about things that are real, things that are actually important. I don't really do that. I'll share my opinion, but I'll never go to that level because that's not really how my brain works. I know what I believe is right, and I try to live out my ideals. But that's not. I'm not going to argue with you if you think that's wrong.
Yeah, it's like that's what they think. That's what they believe. It's not I'm not like an arbiter of like dictating what other people believe. So I totally relate to that, and I do also kind of sympathize with the mission the mission, like the mission of missionaries from like the church to what they believe. Like, hey, these people are actually going to suffer if I don't come help them. There is a degree of that with some aspects, like when you're just patently preaching an ideology that's harmful, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, freedom of speech. So there you go.
Well, yeah, people are allowed to say whatever stupid shit they want. You know, that's their God-given right. But at the same time, I'm not going to watch my ex-sister-in-law tell me that just because one of my children is difficult, that killing children is okay. It's not. So yeah, it's never been okay for any reason.
Right.
It's like historically, look at cultures where they made a practice of it. It doesn't work out for very long. In fact, there was a Greek subset in the northern continent of Africa, around the kind of western side of the Mediterranean. They made a practice of human sacrifice and even infantile sacrifice. And two warring nations at the time came together and said, no, we're going to dispose of this real quick. Then we can go back to fighting, you know.
Yes.
Take it.
Yeah.
Jesus. I mean, the fact that we have to say don't touch the kids is just asininely crazy to me. Like, why do we even have to say that?
Yeah.
It shouldn't be a conversation. Yeah.
That's how you know something got corrupted and rotten really bad somewhere that's not visible.
Especially because of how twisted it is that they've said, they've transmogrified it into saying it's a woman's right. You know, it's also a woman's right to raise and have children. They don't have to do it, but it's one of the biggest differences between men and women. It's one of the things that makes women so special and so wonderful.
It's not just that either. It's why it's a fight that us men we can't really go into too deep. You know, at the root of it, I think women need to take care of this issue themselves. But no, we support them. But like, how about finding a culture of teaching young women how to avoid the smishmorshman instead of like going, we want smishmorshman.
Wait.
Instead of
what is that word you're saying? What is that word you're saying? What did I hear?
Smishmorshman?
Yeah.
Smishmorshman. Yeah.
You lost me. I don't know what that is.
Yeah. Hey, break it down for us.
Break it down. What am I missing here?
It's like the A word, the abortion word. I didn't know if I.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. You said
Mishmorshin.
it's a little bit
Mishmorshin.
muddled because of the headphones. I was like, what the hell did he just say?
I was trying to
Ugh.
say Schmishmorshman.
Yeah, it rhymes with
I
contortion.
understand.
Yeah, yeah. It rhymes with contortion.
Um,
Hey, babe, look what I found in the car.
Oh, hell yeah. We were just having a very pleasant conversation about fertility rights.
yeah, well, we're all over, we're all over the place.
Since you
But,
left.
Yeah,
I
as soon
figured
as you left, we were like, let's go. And no. We were just saying, like, that's part of what makes women so magical and special and amazing is you guys create life. Like, I was just joking with her yesterday, I think. I was like, look at our son. And I was like, we made that. And then I was like, well, actually,
it's
you
super
mostly
cool.
No,
I was there for at least 30 seconds.
did. Yeah.
At least.
Right.
we made him together, and that's what pisses me off so much about, like, yes, I understand that it's a woman's body, and I still am pro-choice because I don't. It doesn't matter. We don't need to get into it, and I respect people that are pro-life too. I do, but I personally think it's not my place to say that. So that said, I do think men should have a say in a life that they created, and that is why it is so important to lay these ground rules out before you fucking sleep with people, because things happen, pregnancies happen, and it's not fucking fair for a man to have no say, and they feel differently about it. They want it or don't want a child, and now, you know what I mean? It's so important to do that because it really sucks. But I also think it's very I hate when people shame people. Like, you should know. Well, I see it on both ends. Like, people telling women and men, well, you should think about that before you fuck that type of person. Maybe you shouldn't be with such shitty people. But unfortunately, we don't think our partners are that shitty, and then they turn out to be sometimes. So it's just it's just a bad situation because,
the problem with those comments is it's too little too late. That information is better beforehand, but at this point it's not helping anyone. I think without getting
but it's
too far
also a
into
human problem. Like, I think every one of us has been a victim of something like that on some kind of level. Like, how do you really avoid something that's really hard for somebody to do? It takes years of practice and training of knowing people to minimize that risk, and we've all been there. So it's not I don't think it's a fair argument to throw at somebody, but you know what I mean?
It's really for people to have conversations too. I see it online all the time where it's this woman asking for advice about, and I'm like, why don't you ask your fucking partner? Like, you're asking us if we think blah blah blah. Like, ask your partner, have a conversation. Like, I've said it a million times and I'll say it again. I have always been honest with my husband, especially when it's hard, because that's when it matters the most. Like, you have to be honest even when it's hard. Do you think I wanted to, when we got together, right away I sat him down and I told him, hey, I live with my ex. Do you think that was easy? Do you think I wanted to fucking tell him that? Fuck no. But I did, and I'm glad I did, and he was actually
that was the right thing to do.
And he was receptive, and we worked it out. It's it's so wild to me that, and I think a lot of the biggest reason we knew we were the ones for each other is because we were both honest and open and had these conversations, and we realized we want to be together, we want to make a family together, and we knew it right away because we just got all of that out of the way. The conversations, what we want in a partner, what we want out of life, and we didn't even want to get married and have kids. We both kind of thought we might marry another person at one point, but we never really wanted to get married and really wanted to have kids and all of the stuff. We both didn't want kids, and then
that's so funny now.
And how would we establish that unless we had those deep conversations? But people shy away from it so much. It's wild now, and I don't understand. Just how people are I get not wanting to be immediately available to everyone all the time. We used to have to send people letters and things like that. But we're so afraid of having a conversation. People are like, I don't answer the phone, I only text, and they like shame people for having phone conversations, and I think that's really weird too. Like, we're pushing each other away, but then we're so obsessed with social media and our phones that you are being that available when you're constantly online anyway. Like, what's the, they're too afraid to have conversations and have to respond right away. They want to like maybe think about it and be able to type something out. And like sometimes when I'm upset at Andy, I won't talk to him and I'll text him even when he's like right next to me, because I feel like I can get my words out. You don't have to worry about interrupting people. Like, so sometimes I'll just like talk to him over a text instead. So like I get why people are like that in a way, but I still don't understand why they like never want to talk on the phone or have that actual verbal communication.
That's on them. They're projecting that they're uncomfortable with this shit because they put themselves in a little bubble. But as far as it comes to relationships, if you're communicating with your partner, however you're communicating, just please communicate.
Yeah.
Smoke signals, I don't give a shit. Morse code, whatever you got to do,
That
communicate with
might
your
have
partner.
simplified some of the arguments I used to have.
Even like
Well,
what you said
all
before,
smoke signals.
even when the chips are down and it's not good news, you got to be there for each other. So you know, it means a lot. Like if you can trust somebody when the chips are down, that when you can rely on them when they're up, and you know it means more. But you also, it's a level of respect. I think it needs to be there for both.
I made a post today about how I hear men say all the time about how women are like, oh, I'm fine, but and like, oh, we don't tell them what's wrong. But I'm like, I have told all of my partners, like, open and honestly, this is what's wrong, this is what I need, this is what I need to be happy in our relationship, and have never ever had a partner be receptive to that. And I've been like belittled, like they demean what I say, or like negate what I say somehow. Like, I've been told, you don't deserve those things because when I do this or that for you, you don't appreciate it enough, or like all kinds of things. But I kind of laid it out, and it's like, and so why do you think women are like, oh, I'm fine, it's nothing? It's because you don't fucking listen to them when they tell you what's wrong. And what do you do with that information? You don't do shit with it. So like, I think the problem is it lies with both people. Be honest and communicate, but also on the other hand, when you're on the receiving end, you have to be receptive to that information and actually care, or your relationship will never work out. And people don't.
I do have something to contribute to that a little bit as well. Not an excuse, but more of an understanding, and that is, I think most good guys do want to know what's wrong and want to be able to fix it. But through trial and error, a lot of them don't want to be blamed for everything. It's not always the case, but I've seen it enough time for it to be a bit of a pattern, and that is, like a guy will ask, "Oh, what's wrong?" And then the woman would be like, go through a list of things that are wrong, and then somehow she'll connect that all to the relationship or to the guy somehow. Now, it's not always fair. It's not every conversation, but it happened enough in like 9-ish years of marriage for me, and happened enough times in other relationships that I interacted with and saw. It's not always the case, but it's an unfortunate series. It's an unfortunate communication issue that's not easily solved.
No, but I think people need to be more careful with, like, instead of saying, like, for example, Andy, you're making me feel this way, or instead of saying like, when you do this, I feel this way, and instead of like, you're doing, you know what I mean, like wording it so it's
Well,
less
yeah. Well, like they make it about the issue, make it about the specific act or issue, not about the person specifically. There's a difference in saying, "Oh, when you get home and you don't like give me a hug or a kiss right away, it makes me feel unloved." It's a big difference saying that instead of saying, "You don't make I don't feel loved by you." Two very different statements.
Yeah, or like, hey, I really like when you show me affection. It makes me feel really good, and I'm having a rough like time lately. So, like, can I have more affection? Like, it's really, I mean, I think women are afraid to, and men too, are afraid to be accused of being needy because we are so fucking rude to each other, honestly, about stuff like that in relationships where it's like, who wouldn't want to be touched by their partner or like, but I don't know. I've
Right.
never been the type to really like to cuddle or like be touched a lot where like it doesn't bother me to like, I mean, I'll hold hands with my girlfriends or like stuff like that. But like I've never in a relationship like really wanted that besides with my husband. And that's one of the reasons I knew I wanted to be with him above anyone else. But I mean, like, for the majority, like, of course you're going to want your partner to like show you affection and touch you and things like that. So just be honest with it. Like, again, be honest with this up front. So like you can find out like, oh, is this a touchy feely person? Oh, they're going to think I'm clingy. Well, maybe they're not the one for me. Not like that's a deal breaker.
Oh, yeah.
But if people were
Like
more,
yeah. It shouldn't be a big deal, but some of those kind of things do matter. Like I dated this girl for about 3 or 4 months a while back, and like she didn't like to kiss passionately, like only like pecks. So, not a big deal, at least in
I,
theory. But to me, I'm like, that doesn't really work for me. That's not. I feel like it feels like I'm trying to run with a rope around my ankles or something. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, I don't know. I've met a lot of people that literally are like, I don't like to make out with people ever. And I'm like, what? Like,
It's
so
wild.
I don't like to make out with just anybody, but I don't get you don't like to make out.
Yeah.
You're doing it wrong. Like, like I'm 40 years old and man, making out next to a beer and tacos and some bud. I don't know what else gets better.
Sounds
Yeah,
so
like, what do you
good.
want? Like, what do you want? Like,
I want some
what
food.
do you want? Tell me what you want. Like,
I
Love
know,
tacos.
man. A good kiss. I don't need. I can be sober for that.
like a dude will slay dragons to get him some kisses from that princess.
It's true.
Like,
Well,
dude,
yeah,
come on, it's in our DNA,
knights in
bro.
old
Like,
tournaments. Like it's like, oh, they
yeah,
have the maiden's favor. It's like I'm gonna knock that guy the fuck off of that horse.
yeah. I want
Just so
that.
she looks at me.
Right.
Just so she
Men
looks at me.
will.
if you really love someone, then I think that, like, I don't get that because, like, for example, like, we can wake up and have, like, morning breath and shit. I'll still make out with Andy all fucking morning long. Like, I don't care. Like,
Hey,
Oh
after a few kisses, your morning breath mixes with theirs, and there's no more morning breath. Like,
Yeah,
Well,
it just
after
it goes away.
after a few kisses, it's sudden communism. Our
Yes.
morning breath.
Our
but
breath.
Right.
another
And
way
then
to
you hear that marching music.
another way to tell if you really should be with someone or not is if they are like really sweaty and haven't showered in a week. Do you absolutely love the way they smell? You know what I mean?
Oh, I dated a girl when she came back from the gym. I was like, oh my god.
It smells
That-
so no,
she would
I
never,
couldn't
but
tell
she
if that
wouldn't.
was a good or bad sound.
No, it was a good one. Like you
yeah.
think
All
she
right, all right.
didn't have an odor. She didn't have like it didn't stink like body odor. It was like a weirder smell, man. She was super
Yeah.
hygienic, but she would not let it engage when she came home from the gym ever.
Yeah.
I wanted to, but she wouldn't let it happen.
Yeah.
She was insecure, but I was like, I don't
Biology,
care.
man.
Like, I
It's
don't
biology.
care.
It's like
You just got
different
done.
people.
Smells good as fuck when they're all like sweaty and like their special BO that you're attracted to. Like it must have something to do with like your chemistry and pheromones, but like
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
all
Yeah.
like
At that time, I couldn't get enough of her, man.
but like that shit is delicious to me. Like I'll smell his literally ask him. I will smell his armpits like a
I didn't go that far.
She's like, I'm not
Sorry,
to be
guys.
creepy, but anyway.
It's
Sorry.
No.
guys. And we made it weird. It's good.
This is good stuff, guys. I really appreciate you coming on and talking
Oh,
about
Al-
this.
Also, Chris, nice to meet you. By the way, I don't think I introduced
Oh, nice
myself.
to meet you too.
Christian or Kahuna. I don't give a crap. You can call me Thomas Train Engine. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, Chris here's
Nice to meet you.
Chris here's a storyteller like most of us, and he leans towards
Hell.
he leans towards movie making, actually video, which is
Okay, I
Oh.
just crossed into Wisconsin, so I went over the bridge and it kind of broke up. So we were talking about BO and now storytelling. I'm a little confused.
Oh, we
Kahuna
just
and
moved
Chris,
on naturally. Yeah.
Hold
Yeah,
on. What?
we just moved
We
on.
just naturally moved on. Yeah. So, Chris, what kind of you like to make videos? Like kind of the equivalent of a short, like a short kind of indie film. Is that what you kind of work on, or what?
Long story short, I've been in and out of the entertainment field for like 22 years. Started off as an actor, and then went behind the scenes when I realized, like, oh man, I don't want to go through all this, and I couldn't you realize real quick, I just want to be the guy who creates the stories. I don't necessarily want to be in them as much.
Some people can do both, but not everybody can. It's like being in a
I'll play a
restaurant.
dead guy.
It's like I can be in the front of the kitchen, but maybe I'm better in the back.
Right. If you have a good enough staff up front, why do you need to be up there? Go somewhere else. That's how I feel. But so I got into I've always been a storyteller as a kid. And so when I quit acting in LA, I started couch surfing and just doing like the audition scene, got an agent,
Couch surfing sounds like the up and coming LA actor, actually.
Yeah, I mean, if I didn't make rent, I was in my car for a while. If I could stay at their house, I did. I was a freeloader, and I worked multiple jobs, but you do local commercials there, and then I got a couple opportunities to be background extras in some decent films, and I'd find my way getting. They put you in a bullpen. They put like extras in like this holding area, right? Because they like pick and choose you like Barbie dolls for different scenes and stuff.
How much instruction would they give you before tossing you in front of the camera?
As little to don't say a word, look that way, to like they'll give you the fucking script and make you read it. Like, it depends. It really does. It depends on which Paul Verhoeven asshole is trying to make a fucking statement with this stupid fucking Rice-A-Roni commercial.
It's like, who's directing this? Kubrick. Fuck.
Right. What's my motivation? Shut the fuck up and look to the left.
That's your motivation.
That's your motivation.
Got it.
It's a Michael Bay film. Run away and scream.
Right. So when I wasn't being used, I would meander, and I would like talk to people and chit chat, and so I'm in LA doing that thing, and I get a call. My dad, he moved from California years before that to the Midwest with my sister, and he had gotten into some trouble, and he's like, "Hey man, can you put shit on hold and come up and help me with my sister's kids because she's in jail?" I was like, "What the fuck did she do?" I was like, "She got into drugs and stuff." So I was like, "Oh crap!" So my dad had her 2 kids. They were young, under the age of 2. So I was like, "Okay, I'll be there." She was only supposed to be there out, in jail for 6 months. Comes back out. She's out for 3.5 weeks. Gets thrown back in.
Oh wow.
So I'm waiting. So I'm staying. The more I'm there, I'm in Cincinnati at this point, and I'm helping my dad. I'm working, as a union insulating homes and office buildings and all kinds of shit.
I do construction, but insulation. If I let it touch my skin, I get boils and I lose my
Bro, I wore a long sleeve shirt. I didn't give a care how hot it was. Kid, are you hot? I'm like, I'm hot, but I'm not itchy. So you are, and I'm sweating balls.
Yeah.
So I'm doing that, waiting for my sister to get her shit together so I can go back to LA. And it never happened.
Okay. Yeah.
It never happened because you get getting out.
Story as old as time.
Right. Every time she would get out, she'd go back in for more time. Until like maybe a few years ago, and she got sober and found Jesus, and she's doing really good now. So happy ending on that end.
Good for her.
But so I'm like, okay, I don't know anybody, I don't know what to do. So I'm going to work, and every payday I'm going to Blockbuster, and I'm buying up every dollar dollar to a $10 movie they have, right? Because I have no friends, I don't know what to do. I'm watching movies and going to work, and I'm watching movies. So I start writing. I start learning how to write. You start finding ways to tell your stories, and you search other people who know what the fuck they're doing, and you learn from them. So long story short, I start doing my own thing and getting into production on my own here in Cincinnati around like 2012 ish, where
Year I
I team up
graduated. Shit.
I team up with other filmmakers, and I get in and I start writing short films, and I start writing scripts, and I get with other filmmakers. We're making movies, stupid basement dwelling bullshit, learning our craft, and occasionally getting on a few projects from Hollywood that would come to Cincinnati. We'd all be on, like, PA, our background extra, our doing crew.
Backup
Uh,
team a little bit also, just like,
yeah.
these guys work in the area.
And we would swarm the whole area, the whole tri-state area of Cincinnati, Indiana, Northern Kentucky, and Chicago even as well. Would just flock down there, man. Like, bam, George Clooney's making a movie, guys. Let's go.
Hell yeah.
Too bad it was a boring ass piece of shit nobody cared about. But anyway, so that's so you're getting your hard knocks in that way, and you're making your short films with your friends. And long story short, in between then, I'm coaching football, semi-pro football, as an offensive coordinator for the
nice.
Cincinnati Northern Kentucky Bulldogs, because football is another passion of mine.
Oh yeah.
It's a far more cerebral game if you think about it. But for me, it was always just fun to hit people. But anyway, so I get a news flash, like Dylan Baker, the guy that was in like Plane, Trains, and Automobiles. He was Dr. Connors in Spider-Man 2. We all know him. If I showed you a picture of him, you'd be like, "Oh, that guy. Yeah, he's been in everything," but you don't know his name.
Yeah, I know who he is. Good guy.
Yeah, he picked up the script rights to this book called 23 Blasts about this blind kid in Corbin, Kentucky, which is also the birthplace of Colonel Sanders, by the way, where he's blind and he plays offensive lineman or some shit. And it tells a story about how he got in the game, and it's a really cool book. It's a touching story. Side note: when I met him on set, I tried to shake his hand, and everybody around us laughed their ass off. And he's like, he's looking around. He goes, "Did he try to shake my hand?" And he's like, "I can't see, asshole."
He's
and I'm
blind.
like, yeah, because he's blind. And I was so nervous.
Bro, that's
anyway,
so
it was
bad.
fucking classic. He clowned on me. So the guy in the head guy in the book, right?
You have to.
Right. Yeah. So my dumbass. So they need football players, right? It's a football movie. I'm like, hey, I got a football team. Can we be in your movie? And the guys, so I auditioned myself, and I told them where I came from. I have a background, and I'm a football team. I can join with your guys. And I'm talking to the guy who coordinated the football for the movie Friday Night Lights.
Oh,
and
that's great.
Where it's like, can you do this? Can you do that? I'm like, yeah. Bring it in, and I'll let you be a PA, and come in for 3 days, and we'll feed you and like come aboard the project. So I get off the bus. There's Dylan Baker. I'm starstruck as shit. And I'm trying to act like it's no big fucking deal. And my team knows better. My team fucking knows better. Yeah. Right. And there's Dylan just chilling. And he's got his assistant with him. He goes, "Walk with me." I'm like, "Oh crap. Don't talk about yourself. Don't talk about your movies. You're not here for that. Shut the fuck up and listen," is what I told myself in my head every single time this man talked to me. And he's like, "We're going to film it here. And this is what we're going to do. What you guys going to go? We're going to here. What are you going to do? What's your name?" "My name's Chris." I'm like, "Hey." And I did say, like, "Hey, man, I fucking loved you in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. It's just a classic." And I said, half of these guys are like in their 20s and have no idea you're in that movie. So I just wanted to say, thank you for the opportunity. I knew who you were. Pass me on the back. That's the last conversation I had with the man for 3 days, because he goes into director mode. And when the light, so it was a great experience. So I left that experience with like, holy shit, man, I gotta start making my own movies. So I get with my team and we're like, dude, let's make our own short films.
Let's make our own movie, yeah.
Let's make our own movies. And some asshole in the community was like, "Hey, Chris, I bet you can't make a short film without saying a single word."
Oh, that's fun.
That's easy. That's
easy.
Challenge
and
yourself.
I'm like, I could do that. And I said the same thing to you. I was like, goes, "Well, it has to have a beginning, middle, and end, and it has to win an award." So I took it as a challenge. So that's exactly what I did. Project Greenlight was coming up for HBO. They were revamping it, and they were taking submissions. So I wrote a script. shot the fucking thing with my car, my friend, with a camera, and
Sick.
the
I
back
know
of
all about indie filming. I was
right.
involved in some indie Star Wars movie like stuff back in the day, but yeah.
Exactly. So
It's
I
like, can't we? Do
renegade.
you have a longboard? I'm like, yeah, bring it. All right.
Right. So long story short, I create this short film called Frantic. I don't say a single word. I try to use the camera. I tried to use the camera as a secondary character that like I can't use dialogue, so I'm going to put shots together and I'm going to make these actors work their ass off. And for the area that I was in, I was so lucky because I got the two best actors in the area. These are the ones that frequently go out to LA and New York and Atlanta and do actual movies and shit. And
And then they
they're
just
like, oh
happen to
my,
live in Cincinnati area.
yeah, and that's where their parents
That's
live.
cool.
And I met them, and I'm like, dude, I got a script for you, but there's no words. And they all looked at me like I was not, like I had 800 heads. I'm like, yeah, no dialogue, bro. You're gonna have to use your damn acting chops. And like, they were, dude, they were so hungry. I'll do it for free. I'm like, come with me. I got a movie for you. So she did, he did, and we're there. And I'm like, oh my god, what the fuck, we're doing this. So I got, long story short, I got the second round of Project Greenlight. I won 2 awards off that short film.
Sick.
Oh, that's great, dude.
So I was
That's
like, holy
amazing.
fucking, right, holy fucking shit. Here we go.
That's awesome, dude. No, Chris, there's this animator. It's not quite the same thing, but he does all these animated skits about this caveman and this T-Rex. There is no sound, there is no dialogue, but he
I
has.
know of it. Rex, right?
Oh, yeah, I think
Rex
so. But there's like,
or,
and like
or
it's
text, something like
such
that.
good storytelling with zero dialogue. It's
Oh,
exactly
I
kind
love
of
that
like
shit.
the same idea that you're talking about. I'm like, how is it so bloody damn? Like, it's not acting, but it's using the same kind of tools. It's using the same ideas, this facial expression, the body language, and actions speaking louder than words. It's a beautiful thing. And like, and not enough comic artists use that. I'm like, you have a visual medium. Why do you have a page and a half of dialogue? You fucking clown.
Right,
Right.
and also what bothers me sometimes with comics, and I know it's not really easy to do, but I know there's ways of doing it. Sometimes their pose is the first part of of what they're saying, but by the end of it, they're pissed, and it like doesn't reflect the page,
Right.
and that bothers me.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
here's a monkey wrench in my whole plan. When I was shooting that film, I was looking for the right location. I couldn't find it, but I knew this actress
Oh.
slash model who was a teacher, and I knew of her because of that. And her husband's a head football coach, and
Oh, yeah.
she's like, "Come use my house." I was like, "Cool." Her kids were there, and
That's cool.
in between takes, I learned enough on set to separate myself from my crew, let them have a break away from me. And I go do my own thing because I'm hyper and I can't calm down anyway. I got a natural high.
I'm a boss on a construction site. Even I have to do that. I'm like, you guys
yeah,
don't want to
they
feel that
appreciate
any
it too. They
longer.
don't want. So I sword fight, play with the kids, build Lego forts in between takes and stuff like that. And she goes, "Have you ever thought about working with kids?" I was like, "Well, I did go to school to like. Eventually, I wanted to be a history teacher, but I got the acting bug and it's the whole LA. I'm on the couch. Can you please give me some ramen noodles
Yeah.
thing?" And then I'm here and I'm doing this.
Food sounds so good.
Right, and then
Food does
she's
sound
like,
good.
she's like, I might have a job for you. At the time, I was working at McDonald's, Andy. I was working at
Yeah.
McDonald's as a McDonald's manager, and I was lucky to work nights and have my weekends free because my manager was cool enough to understand my artistic side. She was cool, but I was still working a really horrible job I hated. But it was paying the bills. I was doing what I gotta do. She offered me this job. 3 weeks later, I'm in this school. I'm a paraeducator. I'm working with special needs kids, and it changes my life.
That can be a tough gig. I'm not
At
knocking
first,
it. It is a hard gig.
At first it was, but I fell in love with it, and I dropped filmmaking for 8 years.
Wow.
So when COVID
Big
hit,
change.
yeah, I pivoted, and me and her clicked on a professional level, and I was working with her and going back to school, and then doing the film stuff on the side because she was giving me gigs with my film crew. So I was filming her husband's football seasons. Like cinematically, I was making like these epic trailers to hype up the crowds in football games of like
Hell
footage of the games before. I was doing all that kind of shit, which is great because in Ohio it was Massillon, so Massillon's the football mecca of Ohio.
Oh, that part.
So
that area.
yeah, so when 50,000 people are literally looking at what you shot and you edited with your fucking brain. It made me tear up a couple times. I'm like, oh my god, dude, we shot that. You remember when we were editing it and you said, don't use that song? Look at this. Look at this shit right now. Fuck you, Anthony. Anyway, so
I know that moment. I know that moment with music creation and stuff like that. Like,
yeah. So I put all that on hold. She moved. Her husband won the state championship like twice and got a really big gig, and she got and she moved away, and then COVID hit, and I'm like, oh, I really want to get back into it. So I started doing a film right when COVID hit. I'm in production on my first feature film. Like my whole goal was to get good at shorts and go into features. I know my first feature is going to be Rocky, and I need to get this son of a bitch out of me real quick so my next film after that could be even better. Like I'm trying really, because I know the process. You know, that I need to test myself so damn badly, and I put my money where my mouth is. I put my talent. I begged, borrowed, stole, got permits, crowdfunded, begged and called in favors, and then COVID hit, shut me the fuck down. Everyone scattered like cockroaches.
Dude, yeah.
My school's giving me shit. The world's coming to an end. Get a vaccine, wear a mask.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I can't do this anymore. And like,
indie, bro.
I let go and I went indie. So like for the last couple of years, it's just been trying to build up from the ground up. That's basically I'm trying to get to present day. And this book I'm working on right now, which I'm turning into a short film, was originally a short film that was slated to be shot before I did my feature, as a way for me to test my shorts, test what I'm going to do in my next film. I've done 3 shorts, and one I don't have control, so I've done 4. One I gave to a director, and she took off with it. So I'm always testing my next. What I'm going to do in my next film is going to be bigger, badder, but not in a give it more money way, but in a technical sense. I'm getting tighter with my editing and all this kind of thing. So I'm working on it. It's always a progression.
I could play whatever you want to show off. I have YouTube pulled
like
up
a trailer
here.
Or something.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I'm consolidating right now, guys, and I'm building a website. So like I took a lot of things down from that were on other websites and getting things taken down from people to tell them, hey, look, I'm going to be putting it up, so I want to direct traffic here. Can you take it down? And the guy Anthony I was telling you about, we have a little bit of a contract dispute with some shit, so I can't. I will eventually, like Frantic, my short film that's 100% mine. I'm putting that up this weekend, but I'm like I said, I'm just getting everything back and putting it in a little tight box for people to go right to, instead of just saying here's a link, because it's been up before, and my IMDb is up there too. Just hasn't been really updated in a while because I've been out of the game, but I'm trying to get all that back so where I can go, hey, check this out, hey, look at this, and see my progression. I've shared snapshots of certain projects on social media, but hopefully with this book and this short film, I can start, being my own brand ambassador and pretty much, going at it in my 40s basically again. So
man, you're getting the work done, man. Like me, I don't have all this background that you have with this stuff. I've helped out with some indie films. I've done writing here and there. I had a book years ago that got deleted by somebody on purpose, and kind of killed the creative spark for a little bit. But I'm back at it right now. It's like a drop in the bucket, man. But no, we got But now I'm doing this YouTube thing, man. I always thought it'd be fun to do YouTube even when I was a kid. I came up with all the YouTube stuff, watching all those guys, and I always thought, oh, that'd be fun someday. And now I'm like, it's not gonna be like your typical stuff. It's not gonna be the kind of thing that YouTube likes to promote. But I'm gonna give this YouTube thing a shot. I think I have a personality for it. I think it's a lot of fun. I like to collaborate with people, and it's a good way for me to get out my artistic, scratch that artistic itch.
Yep. And you're still able to write every now and then too, with like voiceovers and stuff like that.
Too,
you can always work on writing too in the spare time. And I totally resonate with this whole, like, I feel like there's a lot more people nowadays that have kind of got this same backstory that we got. With COVID, it's such a universal event that just kind of knocked a lot of people out of the park and forced their eyes open, right? This is all
one
finite.
way or the other. You know, you either went one way or the other. I think with COVID.
So what's the
I
best?
thought I was immune, but then got divorced right at the end of it. So oops, maybe not.
Right.
At first,
Right, dude.
first me too, bro. I thought, okay, I can ride the wave. Like I've seen Star Trek. You turn into the wave. You raise your deflector shields to maximum.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
drop the power to the fucking forward shit, whatever. And I was good until this year. You know, I got COVID a few times, but you know, we were kind of okay. And then
Mhm.
I did too. I got over it.
24 came and like just shot us with car bills and leaky roofs and new floor in the bathroom. And I'm like, inflation and my daughter's getting bigger, school tuition, and I'm like, oh, Coke, okay. All right, I'm feeling this COVID shit again. Like
Yeah,
all
it's
over.
coming
It's
back.
like 2020. Like what's going on here? But you just got to persevere, man. I think and like here's the thing, and like I try to be like on Twitter, and with me starting up I have a YouTube channel. It's just Chris R Hicks, and I do a little show called No Filter with Chris Hicks, where I just kind of go at it, you know, with no filter on a certain topic, you know, usually
Oh, yeah.
creative stuff, and just kind of tell you like the nuts and bolts of, you know, being transparent as a creator. I say things that a lot of people don't say on social media, and then like one of the things that they don't tell you is like one of the hardest things I've done creatively is sell myself, and I don't know how to do that really good,
Yeah,
and it
dude.
really really bothers me, and the only way I know how to solve that problem is to throw money at it, and I don't like that answer. I
It's
really
not
fucking
efficient.
don't.
It's not
It's not
efficient. You need
efficient,
to,
and it's also not sustainable. Like I got the money
Well,
now, but what if I
it's
don't
very
then?
hard. It's very hard to edify oneself. It's
Mhm.
easier to have other people. That's why people don't like when they're selling a book, like for a like internet commercial kind of thing. Like you'll see the book, you'll see the cover, maybe a cool graphic in the background, and then they'll have reviews or posts by other people. It's not just them talking about their book because most people are very bad at selling themselves and or their product.
Yeah, I've tried that
So
before, and you know, you're
that's
right, and I
tough.
think, yeah, that's a good point. I think if you got good reviews, or if you have any kind of reviews, if you have the ability to have somebody speak for your work, that's great. But if you don't, and you're your only voice, but I think the ultimate, like what I'm really trying to say is I thought for a while there, my transparency and my vocal frustrations as a creator would like bring other creators together, but I didn't know that there's things like there's like the secret things you're not supposed to talk about and you're not supposed to bitch about, even though we all know it. And one of these things I started noticing when I started becoming more vocal, because I'm getting older and I know exactly what I want. I don't have time for this, that. I've
Yeah.
worked with shady people in the industry. Like I know a narcissist when I see one. I worked in psychology. I was a teacher. Like, listen, I'm just gonna, you know. So I think that when you're in those creative spaces and you're with other people, and I think they're afraid to like come out and say it publicly. But I'll look at my DMs, guys, and I'll have like 18 people say, "Hey, man, I agree with you, man. I wish I could say that too. I wish I could say that too." And at first, I was like, "Yeah, Chris, you're the
Yeah.
man. Everyone agrees with you." And at first, I'm like, "But nobody is supporting your ass publicly." And as the numbers
Right.
grow, it's still not
Yep.
changing. So something's wrong. Like,
Right.
is it me? Is it them? What's going on? Like, why are we so afraid to speak our minds or say, "Hey, are you creatively frustrated when you put your book on sale and the only people who buy it are strangers that you don't even know
Right.
or interact with?"
Right.
You're not allowed
And then
to say that,
how
Chris.
sustainable is
Don't say
that?
that, Chris. Shut the fuck up, Chris. Don't say that. You can't
Oh,
be like
dude,
that.
you're so right.
Now no one's gonna
So
support
right.
you. Look at you, you whiny piece of shit. I'm like,
Well,
no, I can't help. I can't help. That's the truth. And you try to tell me one creator who hasn't tried to sell their soul, because my soul's in that damn fucking book,
Yeah, dude.
tried to sell your soul,
yeah.
and then have your friends not support you, and then you can come and tell me if you're okay with it. Straight look me in the eye, and oh, you're a liar if you say you disagree with what I'm saying. And that's what really bothers me. Like, just come out and say it sucks, man. I agree with you, but let's keep going. I'm not, when I say things like that, it's not because I give up, I'm quitting, feel sorry for me. I'm hoping that somebody else reads it and goes, man, I feel the same way as he does, and he said
Yeah.
it, I'm gonna say it too. But
And keep
I'm not
going.
inspiring. I'm not inspiring jack shit these days, fellas.
Yeah.
And I'm
It's
worried
tough,
about it.
man.
Yeah, it is. I don't know. Yeah.
I can speak to that a little bit.
Yeah, I have some thoughts too. You go first.
Oh no, AC, it's your channel. You talk, bro.
Oh, okay. Well, what I was going to say about selling, my first thought goes back to selling yourself, which I have some experience with in music. Music is just as nefarious as any other industry thing on the inside. Now, it almost fully relies on selling yourself, which is why I'm able to speak on this. There's a reason they try to recruit 16-year-old, little boys and girls to be the next big band. There's a reason that they shop around and engineer the most attractive band possible, and then worry about, this is a fact, worry about the skill as an afterthought, because like they have people that can teach this person how to sing. Like in bumfuck Ohio, they'll just send them there for the summer, and then they'll be ready for the album come next year or whatever.
Look what happened
happens.
Look what happened to Accept. They got rid of Udo and replaced him with that better looking guy who doesn't look like a Lord of the Rings extra.
Right.
It happens all the time, man.
Yeah, and I guess what I'm getting at is you could adopt a little bit of that musician mindset, but really the only truth involved there is you need to become self-absorbed and develop. You have to kind of grow and cultivate an ego. But
that's the thing. Like I know I know one thing that's holding me back. When I said I didn't know the answer to it, I didn't like the answer to the question other than money. Was to go full ego mode.
Yeah, dude.
It dip into your narcissism, and I'm like, no, I'm a creative person. There's a level of narcissism in my behavior, but it's not out of control, and I'm not driven by it. But there is a little bit of, hey, look what I did. And I want to share with other people, but
it gets us
I'm
pumped
not out
up.
of control. Right. Exactly. I feed off of it. Of it. And, I did, dude. A couple years ago, I started a production company called Vengeance Productions, and my logo was basically a skeleton flipping you off.
Yeah.
That's a great name. It's a great
name. I'm thinking about resurrecting it. And my whole philosophy was like, we're not going to do it your way. Fuck you.
Mm-hmm.
And I went full scorched earth, bro. I took everybody out with a machine gun if you crossed me funny. There's that side of me. I like justice and I like order and all that kind of stuff, but I don't like wronging other people, and I don't really like people getting away with things. It just really bothers me, especially. But anyway, so I started that. I went down that road, and at first for a while it was a flash in the pan, and I saw some success, but it fizzled out real quickly when I realized that I couldn't keep that up. I wasn't who I am.
Yeah, it's
I'm passionate.
Right,
I'm passionate.
Particular strategy.
You need more than "fuck you" as a mission statement.
Yeah. That works for people
everything.
Who've been on MTV and have like a Hollywood fallback where they can say, I don't give a fuck. And people are like, oh, that's so edgy. But all they have is strangers. You were talking about selling to strangers earlier. That's all they have. They've given up on everything else.
And at my core too, like I wanted to talk about like cool things, but like I did lots of things with my channel starting off, and I would get like my best review. You start doing the analytics, right? You look at your stats, you try to figure out what am I doing, what's work. All the videos where I tore them, all the movies I tore to shreds, got the most views, most likes, most interactions.
Almost always.
And I'm like, damn. Good. Like how I really feel doesn't really matter, and it made me do soul searching, and it's like this vengeance thing, and people are like, Chris, this isn't you. What are you doing? So I took time off, and then I went back to my personal account on Twitter about 1.5 years ago, and I reactivated it, and I started like, hey, I'm Chris Hicks, guys. That's all I am. Yeah. I'm just here to make fucking movies and shit, and like help other creative people, and I tell stories. Please like it. I don't know. You know what I mean?
Some people just get a whiff of the blood in the water and they show up for the slaughter. That's all they want to see. They're not going to follow. They're not going to sub. They'll just, I heard there's going to be a slaughter today. Let's hear for the slaughter. It's sad, but
like just to kind of circle the wagon. It's like I wish that other creatives didn't, and other people saw my genuine side of seeking out my frustration. Like that's a real thing, by the way. Like the people, like and I got really cool people. Like the guy who did Wesley Snipes' comic book, but was the first person to buy my package, my special
Wow.
bundle. That is just
Cool.
a thank you
Yeah.
for people, and I want to give them a chance to become producers on the film. So you buy the bundle, you get the special thank you card, you get the book, and these two, one black, one red, KAB stickers, which means karma's a bitch, and they're really cool. They got blood
Yeah.
splatter on them,
That's cool.
and
Hell yeah.
you get your name in my film as executive producer, because you help, because I'm going to use some of this funds and I'm going to put it towards the movies and put it towards the actors being able to get decent meals on set. And I want to say thank you. So I have this 30 package bundle of this special thing I want to sell. And first person who bought it wasn't my friends. Second person who bought it wasn't my friend. Third person who bought it
Yup.
wasn't my friend. Fourth person, not my friend. And I'm just like trying my real hardest to like separate the two and go, don't take it personal, because vengeance, Chris's vengeance
Trying.
was my hand. Chris's vengeance was my handle, and I would introduce myself as that. Vengeance is here when I was on people's streams. Like, yeah, I was like, oh my
Vengeance
god,
is
it's so cringe now. Like, now I go yo Buffalo because I'm not like that anymore. I feel like, but
Oh,
but
bro, that's
the
funny.
Kahuna could tell you some stuff
Right.
about how he used to be, right?
now I'm more like mahalo, gents. So I come in and I'm
mahalo.
like, how do I not go scorched earth? But I have an analytical brain. I got ADHD. I'm probably smarter than I should fucking be. And I can't help but look at numbers. My brain will just look at a screen and I don't even have to say brain do it. It's just like, Chris, like you're only seeing these people. You're only getting retweets from these people.
Yeah,
You
that's
like
the thing.
pay
Yeah.
I pay attention to those things, and I've even said it like out loud, like how the hell can so many people take from you over the years? Like I've given my blood, sweat, tears, time, money, effort,
Yeah.
everything. And when it's time for me to give you like and shipping's included, by the way, God damn, $12.
Yeah, dude.
I'm like, and
$12,
eventually I will.
$12.
Right. I feel like I and here's the thing. I haven't asked anybody to buy it. I've asked them to just share it.
Yeah,
Because
the free thing.
I'm trying,
The free
dude. I'm
thing.
trying to have morals and make a buck, and I don't know if it's possible.
It's hard.
I really don't, and I'm determined to try, and
So you're
I
in the
will
right
find
place.
ways.
You're
Yeah,
in the right place.
I don't
Come
put
on.
all my eggs in one basket, which is great. I have a side job. I trade currency.
Yeah.
I have a wife that makes decent money.
Yeah.
So eventually, I will get my projects made. I will find a way, but it's as creators. I don't know if anybody like hasn't felt frustrations as creative people, and then I have, like I say, that my reputation has preceded me. When you said that Pence gave me a really good recommendation, because I have this reputation of being a complete asshole, but it's really when you if you look at the people who don't like me and you do your own research, like those are assholes. I'm like, yeah, assholes don't like me. I wonder why that is.
And it's funny, you get like 1,000 assholes, and suddenly everybody forgets that there's 6 billion people on Earth, just because of these
Yeah.
1,000
Yeah.
assholes. These 1,000 assholes right here that are very vocal make us forget about the 6 billion others.
And like what people qualify as being an asshole is so weird as well. Like there's one creator.
Granted,
that I
yeah,
have,
you're right.
yeah.
You're right.
There's a
subjective.
creator in our kind of space. He made a YouTube channel about the same time as me, and he does the whole like I'm going to talk about things to try to piss people off and like insult people
Rage bait.
and yeah,
A little
all of
bit.
that and YouTube loves that shit, loves it. And so my like every now and again I'll check back in with his channel and be like, I have more subscribers. I'm doing fine. I'm doing just fine.
Yeah, because you're not
Like-
baiting.
No, well, like AC, you've seen a lot of the stuff on my channel. I do a lot of a weird variety of stuff. It's like I have
Shout out.
stuff that's meant to just be entertaining, but then I don't know. Like you're Chris, you're talking about how people got tired of you kind of just raging about everything, and I think you can share and be vulnerable and genuinely share like real frustration with people, and they'll be receptive to it. But there does need to be more than that. Because like I've noticed, I'll make a video, like I'll make a dumb short on YouTube. It'll get like 15, 11,000, 10,000, 15,000 likes. It'll bring in a bunch of strangers commenting and reacting. And then I'll make a video just like telling people about, like today I had a hard day, but you guys are awesome. You guys inspire me every day, and I'll just have a frank conversation. And then all of my friends will come on and comment on that. So having a balance and
True.
being able to be authentic in each place that you're at, each part of yourself that you share is really important. And I think you have a lot of passion. You have a great potential to
Thank
connect
you.
with people if you can find that key.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one of my strengths is, which, like when I'm on set and I work with other people, and I think I learned that in the classroom, was like I always tell people, like, I've never not gotten a pitch when I'm in the room. If I get you right in front of my face, which is why I think I need to be on camera more, and I'm working on that this summer. But same with a job interview. If I get the interview, I've never not gotten the job. Like, I'm really good in the room. I'm really good at sharing you my passion and let you like believe it. And it's not just a matter of me saying it. And all I can do is say it. And I know there's a lot of people that are just going, "Oh, he's not genuine. He's just fucking saying it." And I'm like, I wish you knew that my genuineness that you think I'm just saying for views is not working what you think it is, bro. It's a struggle. And I make a choice not to compromise. But I also, like you say, it's got to be more. Like you said, man, you're right. That's why I share everyone's crap constantly.
Mhm.
I back up my words constantly.
Yes. Yes.
I never waver from I will preach it. Yeah, it comes from coaching and teaching. I will never do anything that I won't do myself. Same when I'm on set. Like, I'll take the first
Oh,
blood
yeah.
hit. Well, how's the blood gonna? It's gonna scatter my face. No, look, I'll show you. Hit me with the blood. Look, I'm doing it. I want the actors to know, like, I'm getting in there with you. Like, if you tell me it burns, I know, bitch. I got hit with it. I know. Get her out of it. Get her out of it. I'm
Mhm.
there. I'm not gonna ask you to do those things, and I'm not gonna get on my soapbox. So, it's so, like, if you pay attention, and there are some great people. I'm complaining like I don't have any great people around me, which is a lie. I do, and the ones that get me, and they're all kinds of people, and they're like, dude, you're awesome, and that's what keeps me going. So I know that with the right people, finding the right people is difficult, but I try to be genuine, and I refuse to sell out, and like I said before, I know the answer to how I can be a little bit more successful, but I don't think I'm willing to be able to do that and live with myself and
I'm
have
right there with
integrity.
you. I came home. Okay, so it's very weird how society kind of separated me from my family and everything. I mean, ultimately, all my choices throughout the years, but it's just insane how everywhere I went, every mentor that I came across that was further ahead in the music industry and stuff, they were all saying I have to, you got to move to a bigger city. You got to do this and that and the other thing. You all got to be together constantly and stuff like that. And essentially just incremental steps to drag you further away from like where you were that got you inspired to do all this to begin with. Like, that's what I realized kind of towards the end of the day is if like me and my band had just stuck to like our grassroots and kind of just sat there and ground it out, we could have easily just went and played as many shows as we wanted, because we would have had that solid foundation. So it's like, I don't want to say it's all entirely a lie, because they're not wrong about like the whole starving artist move to LA and find work bullshit. That's kind of what they were telling me and my
Yeah, I mean, I
bandmates.
did this. Yeah, they told me the same thing, so I moved
Yeah,
from
and what they
the
don't
Bay Area. Yeah,
and it's true, there is like some work there's shows there, but what they don't tell you is that it's not all about going and playing shows right now. So like it's the starving artist myth. This is what I was going to touch on before the
Eric July's talked about that a couple of times to great effect.
That's why
actually,
I resonate with Eric a little bit, because he's like saying shit that I knew the whole time, and I'm like, wow, somebody's actually saying it out loud. I thought it was crazy. But essentially, you got this myth that you need to go out and like struggle like that hard, which like it worked out for you in a lot of ways. It worked out for me in a lot of ways, but look at us both right now. Did it really work out? Not really. You know what I mean?
No,
Like,
I'm right back. I'm pretty much rebuilding my entire career again at 40,
same.
from
Same.
20 to 40. So yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no,
Dude.
he's right, and you're right in a certain sense. Like, no, I wouldn't say no. You have to go out there and be poor, live in your car. No, if I didn't have to, I wouldn't have. But I had to. That was just my circumstances.
Same. Yeah.
Should you go out there and grind should you
I
go out
didn't
there and
have
grind and get every job you should possibly do? Yes,
Right.
that's what I did too. But it just so happens it didn't pay shit. So that's where I agree with. Like, yeah, I would never say somebody you'll go live
you
poor.
individually have to do to get it done, but don't
Yeah,
don't
I lied, dude.
glorify a
You know how many
lifestyle of
lies I've told to
poverty
get on
and
set?
struggle.
I'm going to hell for a few of them.
I mean, and that's what they don't tell you. They say move to LA and you'll find work, starving artist, blah blah blah. But they don't say literally you need to lie to us in order to get a job. They don't say you need to pretend like your shit doesn't stink when you don't even know where you're going to shower.
Take it till you make it.
Yeah,
that would be like me trying to go get hired by one of these big YouTube channels. Like, look at all my editing and like borrow a couple of videos, then show them like my best phone edited fucking like dumb YouTube video.
If you want it bad
I'll
enough,
make all this work.
you'll lie and say you edited to make it look like shit.
and like I kind of realized this myself too at one point when I kind of sat down one day and I was like, and it was when I transferred from my first band to my the next band project that I was a part of, Empty My Lungs, from We Are the Blog to Empty My Lungs. I kind of realized when we got like thousands of views on our first video and like how we properly set it up and how like it wouldn't actually be until 2 years roughly after you start your project that you will actually maybe step onto a stage. And that's if you were planning everything correctly. And that's when it makes the most sense, because why would you do that if it's not going to work out? My dogs are barking. You guys talk.
Oh, okay. Well, like, no, like you like even thinking about bands. Some bands did the whole like, oh, we're gonna go on tour thing and gonna play as many shows as possible. Like Metallica, they were on that grind for a long time before they made it big. But most people, it's not like that.
All right, there's no such thing as an overnight success.
Well, there is, but it's not. There's no formula for it.
The overnight success is 8 years behind it, right? You know, there's 8 years behind your overnight success because you're right. You're right. If it catches fire, and I haven't had something go completely shushu, you know, holy shit, let it burn. But I've had things take a spark, and I'm like, oh wow, that's crazy. Like, you know, I know that there's an X factor that none of us creators can put in there. It's like once you throw it out there, there's really not much you can do. It's either gonna burn or it's not.
Right.
Well, the modern day is tricky too, because now there's the overlords of social media who can kind of they can make anything go viral.
They can. That's fucked up. It's TikTok. Yeah, that's literally TikTok. TikTok is transparent about it, at least. But what they're doing is
YouTube pretends like they're not, but they
yeah. All these platforms can do this thing where they just, you propped up. There you go. Boom. Everybody sees you. They can do that. We saw that with the artificial news anchor numbers with like CNN and Fox. Yeah, dude. What kind of shit is that being allowed? Like, we're just going to like put all this shit on the front page news when they're known liars. We caught them lying a few times this year, kind of shit. And like, you're going to prop them up and then say that other people talking about real shit is like fake news or whatever.
You know what's nuts is people I think are suffering from some kind of mental illness, because we all know liars in our lives. We've all known cheats and stealers and all that kind of stuff, right? Yeah. So to think that other people aren't capable of doing that, and to a degree where you get violently angry, baffles me. Because you're like, oh my God, I'm like, so you don't know anybody in your life who's ever cheated or stolen from you or lied to you? Oh no, I have. I'm like, yeah.
Well, or you could get
these people wouldn't do it though, right? They're special
cheated,
people. Is there something in quantum mechanics I don't understand that puts them away from us? No. if you know people, here's the thing. Everyone is capable of everything at any moment. Like, that's the thing. I don't understand why people are like, well, CNN, they have the power to change the numbers, but they would never do that. I'm like, really? You've never been screwed over by someone you didn't think would screw you over? What the fuck? Yes, you have. We all have. And to think that wouldn't happen is naive as hell.
Well, it's like, I understand why people say it. I understand the meaning, but I'm always apprehensive when people say, I could.
You want to believe they wouldn't be, but you're fucking wrong.
Yeah.
Well, not even with other people, with themselves. We're like, I could never. I'm like, yeah, you could.
Yeah, you could.
When the chips are down, who knows, right? We're eating people.
Like
when that wolf is in the den, and your baby's in.
The best thing to say is, Yeah, you don't know what you're going to do in those situations, and hope that God you're never in them to find out.
There you go. Yeah.
Like even when you're not in, like when I was a dumbass teenage kid, I was raised with a good family, Christian, the whole 9 yards. And I still try to live that way. But I was in charge. I had to go dump this garbage trailer full of sheet metal, and my dad's like, "Hey, if you," well, I was 16. He's like, "Hey, if you go dump this, any money you get out of that, I'll let you keep as like a little, thank you for all the stuff you've been doing around the house recently." I'm like, "Okay, cool." And so I'm on my way there. I'm like one property away from it, and then I see some metal like down in this adjacent property. I'm like, you already see where the story's going.
Yeah,
Anyway,
more metal, more money.
I had three. They might have had some other stuff going on there too because of how quickly these guys rolled up. But like I had 3 cars surround my truck all of a sudden, and then I had to bribe them so they wouldn't call the cops. And I'm
Oh
like,
wow.
okay. Well, I learned my fucking lesson. What a fucking moron. First, dumb. Secondly, wrong. There's no
But you
I'm,
got
I'm glad.
greedy, my friend.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I also learned. I learned.
Yes.
Oh no! I'm saying that's
Yeah.
what you learned. You learned greed. Oh shit,
Oh yeah,
greed, right?
Oh fuck,
yeah,
greed,
yeah.
dude. Oh
I'm
man.
like,
Like I trade
I was hoping to make a
currency, and
buck, and
that's
now
rule number
I'm
one.
like down $200.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
But no, I mean
So these guys are gonna mess me up.
Yeah.
that's kind of how I
Was
live
it
life,
like their
man.
mailbox? Was it like their mailbox and shit?
No, just like like scrap metal, like just
It was
parts
their
of old
metal.
vehicles. It was their stuff. Yeah, it
Yeah,
doesn't matter
Right.
what it was.
That's what they were gonna do with it. Yeah. That's what they were gonna do with it later is sell it.
Something,
Yeah, something.
But
Uh,
never get greedy. I think that you could
Oh,
be
yeah.
comfortable and not be greedy. Like I play Texas Hold'em. I also play blackjack. But I trade currency. So like I go like, oh shit, I feel those greedy moments. But like one of my rules is like don't get greedy.
Verging on like on the crest of gambling, trading currency. It's always it's not gambling, but it's always a gamble, a little
It's
bit.
Yes,
yeah.
it's a little bit of a gamble. There are it. It's like Texas Hold'em. There's skill in there. Like don't. It's
Oh
not
yeah.
all about the cards, But there is like, I spend almost as much time reading the news as I do because that affects currency, like you wouldn't believe.
Oh
So it's
yeah.
like finding these little cheats, but like over time, you find a little bubble that you work in that you can. Oh, I recognize what this is going to do. I see this here. I'll take that $35. Thank you very much. Oh shit, that's going to be here. I'll take that $25. Instead of like my friend who just goes big or go home, like, and he's always like 6 months later, like I'm broke.
So he's like
Me,
me,
I'm
except I
cherry
don't
picking
gamble all the
here and
time.
all right, I'm cherry picking here and there and just going, okay, I'm alive
Yeah.
and I'm all right.
That's me. That's me over
I'm
here.
scared to go.
I
But
always took more of like a Yu-Gi-Oh approach to gambling. I
Heart
have
of the
the heart of the cards.
Yeah. They want you to have the heart of the cards, Kahuna. They want you
I
to.
know.
They want you to have it.
oh, but with
So
Take
Hold'em,
it
it's
from a
really
blackjack
interesting.
dealer.
They put
Right.
my kahunas in my throat after that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
With Hold'em, with Texas Hold'em, it's great though. You can play the room. You can play the people. Like I've gotten to some poker tournaments when I was learning how to play, where I didn't really know all the hands, and I've gotten to like the final tables bluffing.
Yeah, dude.
Like
Yeah,
just
That's
learning
that's
how
the
to
only
read
kind
people.
of gambling I was
Like
any good at.
I'm playing with a bunch of I'm playing with the plumbers union, and I'm like, these guys are drinking beers and they're drunk and they don't even understand their tells are everywhere. Like they're everywhere, and I'm sober as a judge, and I'm taking all their money, and they got mad at me.
I knew a
Thought
guy.
I
I swear to God, he would
They thought I
cough
was a
every time.
ringer, and I was trying to
Yeah.
explain to them I don't even really know how to play, but you guys are just really bad with your body language. That's what I was
Like
trying to tell them, but
I knew this electrician guy. He would cough every time he had a good hand. Every single time. Just,
yeah.
like you moron.
like,
Like,
I don't think you
my
even know you're
pattern,
doing
right?
that. You can't.
My
Possibly
pattern
know.
recognition software tells me that there's something going on.
Yeah.
The goldfish sitting next to me sees it too, bro. It's not that hard.
Right.
See, when I'm at the table, my thing is to make just make the same face regardless of whatever comes in front of you, and it's an exercise in fertility. You got.
Yeah.
So I try to look at my cards like I'm an idiot every time, like
Like this.
like. So, but it's like when I play Hold'em, man. I'll let you in on a secret. Maybe you guys have never played cards with me before, but I'm a bit of a chip bully.
hmm
I'm a little bit more of like, I
Oh,
I
that's it.
will,
Oh, that's it. You're not gonna begin. You're not gonna bet more. Huh? Sure. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I
I'll
guess
buy
I'll.
a pot off of you just to scare the shit out of you. See what you do. A lot of people don't have like the nerve. You know what I mean? Like not everybody, but
Mhm.
some people don't have the nerve, and you can tell right off the bat. But I chip bully, and what I do, and one of my other tactics is um, uh, I will be like stone cold, but then I will like randomly get excited, and I will see who reacts to that. And then if they react to it a couple hands later, then I attack them.
Yeah, you got strategy.
There you go. But
That's being a trapper. That's what that is.
well, that's
That's
playing the
smart.
game, man.
Yeah,
Rounders
strategy.
is one of my favorite movies, man.
Now
Oh,
imagine having to do that.
that's a good movie too. Yeah.
Imagine having to do that in real life in order to succeed at anything. It sucks. Honestly.
Yeah, I mean, I've taken those skills. Like the guy who taught me how to play poker was a Romanian, and he was mean.
Yeah, dude.
He was
You
mean
gotta do
about
that
no.
same.
Dude, he took so much money from me, and at first I thought like my friend, because he's my girlfriend's best friend's husband, and I thought he was taking me. I thought he was taking me to the cleaners because I'm this white dude. Like, hey, take me how to poker. And like, I'm straight edge and shit as hell back then and whatnot. I look like an Uber nerd,
You got to
khaki
phrase
pants.
that differently. Teach me how to poke her. Anyway.
Teach me how to do. Teach me how to poker. So like basically, he taught me how to poker by bullying me. So like I just copied how he taught. Like, and as soon as I started giving it back to him, he's like, "All right, you're free to go." So we went to an Indian casino, man, and I did all right. I did all right.
Oh yeah. I met my wife at a casino. I was a blackjack dealer.
Also,
We've told
I
the
so
know.
story.
I know. She talked about it earlier. How she wanted that cake. Wait. Maybe
That's
she
right.
might have phrased that slightly differently.
That cake. That's right. That's right. That's right.
dude, I had a blackjack dealer yell at me because a friend I was giving a friend money at the table. He's like, "You don't do that." I'm like, Jesus Christ, I'm sorry.
Real quick, Evele says, money feels silly once you have a good woman and some faith and probably a kid. But that's neither here nor there.
No, well, yeah, no. Emily's smart, and money is
Yeah.
just a tool.
Wisdom.
It's not.
Yes.
The love of money is the root of all evil. It's a biblical thing, even if you don't believe in the Bible and such and God. I think there's a lot of truth in that statement, even if you don't. I do, but
It's not my
to each their
ultimate
own.
pursuit. To be honest, it's not my ultimate pursuit, and I don't know what
Ooh.
I just don't I don't know. Maybe that's going to be my curse. Maybe I'm just going to be like getting by for the rest of my life. I don't want to be, but I'm hoping that with my life experiences between the last time I wanted to do filmmaking till now, I also kind of want to like help and inspire other people to be just good people. And I don't think I have it in me to go back and be like, Google
Be a
gobble
shark.
one of us, right?
Yeah, fuck that.
We
Dude.
accept you one of us. I don't know. I don't
No,
know.
dude.
One of
No, I
us.
see that shit. I'm like,
One of us.
you see, like you see all the. It's so apparent now as an adult. It's like, did all the adults see this when I was going through this, and they just didn't give a fuck about me? Is that what's going on? They didn't want to like guide me at all. They all saw how like society is and Hollywood is and the machine is, and they're just like, no, this is fine, because it's not fine. And the reason I'm so on board with Iron Age is because like that is where society needs to go, instead of waiting for senpai to feed us little minnows, little droplets of like, whatever.
No, it's very galvanizing.
Yes.
Be the Iron Age.
Be the
culture.
culture.
It's like be it like for me. It's be the. I'm pretty. I don't like AI. I don't hark on it. I don't hark on people who use it. Just for me, it's like I don't want to see more. I don't want to see stories and storytellers replaced by AI. And so I use it in a very limited way. And so it's like I'm not criticizing people who do use it. It's just I'm trying to be the change I want to see in
Hey,
the
if you
world.
write your entire story by telling your AI, look, I want to tell a ghost story about a family who's haunted by a ghost. I need it to be 500,000 billion words, and they just pump out diarrhea. I'm judging you.
Yeah.
Sorry.
The diarrhea.
Clip
Diarrhea.
it. Clip it. I'm judging the fuck out of you.
I'll go a step further. Even if it's not hot garbage, if you
Right.
if you prompt the entire writing of your book and don't actually write it yourself, I don't really know if you're an author. You might be
Right.
at best you might be an editor. That's the truth. It's like
At
someone
best,
who says
yeah.
they're an AI artist. If you're not actually also an artist, I don't really know, man. I don't think that qualifies you as an artist.
Like
What do you think about that?
I've physically written two books, a dark poetry book, this book. I'm working, my third's coming out right before this short film starts filming, which is this summer. My third book is I've written every single one of these things, and I'm still not comfortable calling myself an author. I'm just a writer, storyteller. You know what I mean? I think an author is something very specific. I think it's something you have to really kind of like sink your teeth
At the
into,
very
and I think
least, you're a writer.
it deserves
You
respect.
published
Yeah,
a
and
book.
at
You're
the very
definitely an
least,
author.
I get that, but I just maybe what I'm thinking is a little too out there. But that's just my opinion. But when somebody uses AI to do all the hard work, like you can't you.
Well, it's
No, you just can't
inauthentic.
call yourself.
Like
Yeah,
first,
you can't.
it's inauthentic. It's not really you. It's like you have a touch in
If you
it,
want to do
right?
that
You
and
come up
say,
with
"Look,
stuff.
I prompted a book," be transparent about it. Go for it. I'm not going to shit on you. I'll leave you
Oh
alone.
yeah,
I don't want nothing to do with you, grifter. But if you come out and say, "I wrote this 100% AI, everything's AI about it. Here's my book," and some people are doing that, that's
they are.
I
Yeah,
respect you a little bit more. I respect you a
At
little bit
least you're
more.
being transparent.
at
Yeah,
least
at least
for at
you're
Yeah,
least being honest about it.
yeah.
yeah.
And I actually the example I point to of those people who at least most of them aren't transparent because that's not how you make money. But
No,
it's
so tell me about it.
you pump out 20 children's books in 1 month, just without writing a single word. You just you have AI do all of it, and because it's a children's book, you can create similar enough assets with the images and simple enough sentences that it doesn't matter, quote unquote, doesn't matter. Even though children's books, what matters the most, I think, is the art. But I digress. But like, yeah, if you're transparent about that, at least everybody knows like how you're making your money or whatever, and why. Like, hey, I'm not an artist. I'm not even a writer. I'm not anything but a prompter. But look what I made.
I'm a grifter trying to do a side hustle on
Yeah.
Amazon KDP distributing.
Which sucks for those of us who are actually spending years writing books. Because that should just
putting our heart and souls into it just so you can
Mhm.
spend as much time creating and building a good story to tell, and then trying to build your brand at the same time, and then releasing it, hoping that people like it. Yeah,
Well, and it
taking that
takes
ultimate
away.
risk.
Yeah.
Well,
And
it's
it takes
like
away.
ooh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're good. It dilutes. It just dilutes the Amazon's like author system. How they have like an author page and stuff like that. If you got bots, essentially, that's what I'll liken it to. The prompt, the prompter authors are kind of like bots, because you could just make a bunch of sock puppet accounts that are all doing this, or whatever. But I digress. It makes it harder for people to find people like me and you. You know what I mean? Like actual authors that are
Agree.
manually doing it.
Well, we could even talk about art too. For AC's upcoming episode of Spirit Animals, he has some good AI assets that he was able to prompt and create, and they came out actually pretty good. You took your time getting those. But just because of my involvement with that upcoming episode, I'm like, I'm gonna this should have something a bit more special. So I hired a friend of ours to make he's a metal musician. He talks about movies and such, and he also does art and
Cool.
comics on the side. So I hired him to do a piece for the upcoming episode. And it's like it doesn't have the color palette. It's just black and white, but it's so much more real. I love it for its roughness. I love it for what it is.
Me too.
And it doesn't have that polished fake feel that AI, especially in art, tends to create. Oh, there it is.
Yeah,
Like
you could
that,
tell. You could tell where he like was drawing all this, and the funny thing was, is
AI
I thought,
AI can't do that.
right.
AI can't do that.
The interesting
yet.
thing at first, I was like, okay, so here's some of my favorite things. I really like the turtle's face.
It's too intricate. It's too asymmetrical in a random way that a computer
They
could.
don't have extra
handle it.
arms anywhere.
Right.
They
There's
can't
no
get hands and feet right. Like, is Liefeld fucking programming these motherfucking AI machines?
this dude actually has really good composition with his smaller background figures. He could make a very good comic. I can just tell by the way.
Yeah,
these
AI can't do that. No, it's too detailed.
And also, at first, I thought he had 2 eyes, but he actually
did too. I was like, why? Where's it? Tricked me. I'm like, oh, he's just frowning, and it's
just black and white. Yeah, it's just black and white. I love it.
But
It
at
worked out
first
really
glance,
good.
it does
bad,
look like he has 2 holes where his eyes should be. Yeah.
Yeah. But then, then it all comes clear, and it's like, oh no, he's just a badass. But yeah, you compare that to, like, we've all seen AI art, but yeah, I mean, I did. I don't know. I had a particular. It helps to have good particular characters, okay? Because when you say like a giant cyclops riding a giant turtle, the AI will give you something.
So, Chris, how did you learn how to edit for your? I know it's a kind of broad question, but like I've been learning editing, and unfortunately, because the PC programs are a little too complicated for me, I do all of my editing for all of my YouTube on my phone, and it's not the same. It's not cinematic editing. It's more like frantic, schizophrenic YouTube editing, but it's still it's been an interesting learning curve. How do you work around some of the limitations and maybe some of the software that you use?
That's a good question. Like, I've been editing my own content for 10, 15 years. I've just been, with the free software, just kind of messing around with it. Over time, I've kind of I did my own trailer for this book, and I've edited all my short films, and I've done all the trailers, and pretty much every gig I ever had, I'm in the editing room with that guy, Anthony, I was telling you about, my partner in crime at the time.
Yeah.
And he's teaching me. I'm learning editing tricks to simplify it. Like, a lot of it is just like trial and error. Like, I didn't really have a direct teacher. I used tutorials. It sounds kind of lame, but I kind of just learned by making mistakes and then trying this a different way. Or I deconstruct. So I try to take something I like and go, oh, I wonder if I could recreate
imitation
that.
a little bit. Yeah,
Yeah,
I've looked at
in my
YouTubers I like and
imitation,
tried to do that too. Yeah.
and in my imitation, you're right. Yeah. And in my imitation, I learn. So I kind of, because I get itchy and I sometimes I can't sit still. So I learn how to edit and learn, and it also makes me a better storyteller because I know the process now as a filmmaker. I shoot to edit, like I know exactly how I'm going to edit my film, so I'm going to shoot it that way. I'm going to save myself time and money and effort and all that kind of shit. So it also makes me look at things different. But to get around the things, like I do the normal things like people would do when you don't have anybody to ask. You ask the internet and you try to trial and error it. Same thing with when I went to graphic design. I was like, okay, I want to, I don't have the money to make this. I have to do it myself. So I got a free program and I was like, dude, let me tell you what, I learned how to do graphic design by doing one picture every day for an entire year with different softwares. All of them were free softwares. By the end of that year and to this day, I do covers on free software.
Wow.
And they sell.
Cool.
And I never had to complain about it because I learned how to master what I have available. And then I have other softwares that are expensive that can do these things, but I've learned how to do them on these free ones that I don't need to use the expensive ones this much anymore because I learned shadow and tracing and the little things you could do. Yeah.
Well, it's like
not that I don't have Adobe Premiere. Right.
It's like I have
Sorry, go ahead.
Vegas. For my PC, I have Vegas Pro. I have a couple thousand assets with a package that I bought specifically for that purpose. But I've been using InShot on my fucking phone, having to basically make up a way to pretend simulate. Like I can do in 5 steps what those programs can do in 1 or 2 steps, but I don't know how to use those programs yet. So I'm still stuck doing this.
Yeah.
And,
You'll get
and I
there.
think part of that is, part of it is you just gotta dive your ass in there and find a tutorial that works. I watch tutorials all the time, and not the first. Sometimes the first 1 second, 20th tutorial doesn't get it for me. But then all of a sudden, some random bloke from usually from England,
It's
it's
so
like,
true.
here's how you fucking do it. You're like, oh,
You
it's not
fucking
that
wanker.
hard,
He said, "Why did he?
Right.
Why was he the only one that said the thing that nobody else said? That doesn't make sense to me. Why
right? And
wouldn't
why is
everybody
your
just say the
video
thing?"
also only 2 minutes long and everyone else's is 25? I'm like, Jesus
And
Christ.
really low
So,
quality. Like his is
right.
2 minutes, the shittiest quality, and you're like,
So
"Oh, that's all I needed." Okay.
Well, like setting up OBS was really intimidating for me. Like for
yeah, I'm not
streaming.
touching it. I'm not touching it,
Oh,
and I'm
for
not
me,
doing it.
I looked up a whole bunch of tutorials. They were all like they all assumed I had a certain amount of PC knowledge, but the only computer I've ever owned. I bought like this last year, and so
Oh
I was
yeah.
like, I need someone who can tell me
Oh
exactly
God.
what to click and where. And so I found this guy's
Yep. You
video.
need a hands-on approach, bro.
I copied exactly what he did to the letter. And I'm like, perfect.
Yep.
Now I'm not
Done
going to
that
touch it.
thousands of times. I was like, that's my editing style because I know how to do it now.
Hell
I
yeah.
will have 4.5 second shades in between my cuts because I learned how to do that, and I don't know how to do any other kind of cuts.
Oh yeah.
I know, but like it's like to answer your story, man. It's like it's trial and error. Like a lot of it is deconstruction. Like happy accidents happen there and there. In Frantic, in my short
like
film, and
look what other people have done in your field, and like learn how they did it, so you can stand on the shoulders of giants, kind of thing.
yeah, if you want to write scripts, read scripts. If you want to edit movies, watch movies.
Yeah. So I'm gonna
But
need to read your books and watch some of your stuff, man, because you sound like a great candidate for my show Iron Age Legends.
I've been getting a lot of
It's
love from the Iron Age, if I may say so. Like I have, like a lot of people have been approaching me, and like one of the people that bought my books, I don't really know them that well, but they were
yeah.
like, "Hey, Iron Age, support Iron Age, let's go." They did something really cool. I was like, "Oh man, these Iron Age
Hey.
people are starting to really like grow on me. Like I'm starting to think this is where I need to be." I don't really like groups. I'm scared of that shit. That's not personal necessarily with everybody. It's like personal for me, but yeah, like dude,
Yeah, dude.
not to get off the subject, but this Iron Age thing, I'm starting to feel it.
It's great.
It's
Well,
it's just independence. Yeah.
But this Comicsgate stuff, I was stuck in Comicsgate for so long
Yeah.
because I was doing this comic book,
Comicsgate
and a
is
lot of
such
my
a
friends are coming from Comicsgate. So like, I'm trying to find like Comicsgate said, no, you can't be here because you don't like to kiss ass and simp for other dudes. And I'm like, you're right, I don't.
Yeah.
What do you mean? What do you mean 3 years to get my comic book? Eat shit.
Yeah.
But I'm an asshole for saying that. They ostracized me. Like I tried really hard, and I got taken. Someone took thousands of dollars from me. Like, dude, it was brutal. And
Wow, dude.
I got screwed over by artists and let down by people. So I'm transitioning away from comics. I am doing a comic. I got a really cool idea for a comic, but my artist is not free, and not free as in like they're not available. Obviously, they're not free.
Oh,
but,
okay. I was gonna say
so that's
how
not
that
gonna.
works. You pay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not rushing that. I don't want to rush that story because I don't want to waste it on just somebody else's art. Like I tried that already in Comicsgate and it didn't work. Oh, I'll go for secondhand art because it's cheaper. Yeah, no. So I'll wait whenever that comes up. But
you don't want bad art for your comic. I know.
no,
I had a conversation with someone.
They don't care about story.
Oh yeah, no, it's about.
They don't give a shit about what your story.
Visuals
No,
are
they don't
part of the
fucking care.
story with a comic book. Like with a book, the art doesn't really matter, but with a comic book, it really matters. It affects the story. Part of the storytelling is the visual, so you need to have good visuals. It's not complicated.
No, it's not. But also, it's frustrating from somebody who comes from a words equal transition to film. Like my style is like, I know this is. I wrote this comic book script. I'm working with this artist, and it's hit or miss on art for the most part. But what I've gathered is, in my experience in the years I was in Comicsgate, I wasn't in Comicsgate because I was observing. Anyway, was that it doesn't matter what your story is. It could be cool, it could be edgy, it could be different, it could be completely radically the best thing you've heard. But if they don't like your art, it doesn't matter. And I'm like, dude, are you serious? Like, I don't base a film based off the cinematography. I don't make it a good movie.
It's a weird thing,
Just
but like,
it does not like is story not paramount in comics right
so
now? Come at me, Comicsgate, if you want to, but I'll fucking bury you when it comes to stories. And story is king. Story
Yeah,
will
dude.
always be king, whatever format you're telling it. It's
So-
always going to be story is going to be there long before your visuals fade away, brother.
So you know how excuse me, you know how
Oh,
movies have a category, like you even said it, cinematography. You know, there's all these
Mhm.
categories, right? So comics definitely it has that same thing, but the weight of each category is a little different, and it's different for everybody else too. Like, I'll be the first to tell you that everything you guys said is true about how much visuals matter, in that like it's a bridge to tell the story. But at the end of the day, you're telling a story. So if you can somehow pull off whatever your thing is in the story, even with poor art, the point is telling a story. But yeah, like unfortunately, comics just it's a category that's weighted differently. Just like in movies, like CGI
Hey, can you
is like a
not
category
talk so loud?
that's weighted now differently. You know, how is the CGI in the movie? How are the graphics in the video game? You know, does that
Also-
necessarily make a good one?
Thanks for
Something.
having
well,
this
well
ready.
even with books, I've had a conversation about this recently. I'm like, some books have a style where they're written more cinematically than other books. Like, they're books where when you're reading, you're like, I could really picture this as a movie more so than a book.
Go here.
Like, I had that
I don't know who
sensation
you grabbed
reading.
this from, but
Oh, okay. I had that
No, I hear
sensation when
you.
I was reading G Sedai by D.P. Riley. I'm like, as I was reading, I'm like, I can exactly picture this scene. He wrote this with a visual in mind.
Yeah,
With
and
the
you can tell
simplicity, and
that.
people don't do that.
I mean, I can come up from a filmmaking standpoint. The guy Anthony I keep raving about. He's my DP and my editing friend and my business partner. And man, we were
Nice.
stuck. We were stuck together. Like we were like stink on shit, bro.
Hell
Came to
yeah.
every movement of that fucking camera. We were together, bro. We were just we wanted it to tell a story, and as well as the words in front of the page. And with comic books, it's a little bit different because I had a hell of a time translating my screenwriting ability into a script, and my artist would just get so fucking mad at me. I mean, unbelievable.
It's a very
Like,
hard. It's very hard to do comic writing.
I was like, what
It's
you
not an
want me
easy
to
thing.
give you is like I said, like, I don't know how to articulate that to you, and like you want me, and I get the like I was arguing with him, like I get the feeling that you want to do it a certain way, and I want total, like, I'm also, here's the thing, I want total control. I want to tell you where to pose them. I want to tell you where's the background's going to look like. I don't want you to do that. I'm a
Yeah.
director. I know exactly what I want from, and it sucks because I don't not appreciate them. Man, I fucking appreciate artists just like I do actors. I need them. I want them. I love working with them. But I have a vision, and I don't want to be that asshole. You know, I go, I'm like, I got a vision. I need to make my movie.
Not the my way or the highway kind of thing.
No, and I usually dude, a lot of my greatest things came from actors doing their own thing, and I love it. If you put them in position, they'll knock the pins down. That's all I say. But
Yeah.
there are certain things with this comic book. I was like, dude, I see every fucking frame of this. Like, I don't want you to be like, put him here, make him do this. I'm like, no. He's like, well, I don't like that. That's not interesting. I'm like, well, it's not your fucking comic.
Well,
Like, how?
that's
When do you be?
for you. You
But it's
need to
my
find.
art, and people are gonna see it, and I don't want them seeing it in stupid ways. I'm like, dude, you're one of those guys. How come you can't just take my thousands of dollars and give me my fucking comic the way I want? When I'm hired to
That's
do a
when you really
fucking
have to
commercial,
shop around. Because, like,
when I'm
there are a
doing when
lot
I,
of really good artists who are not good communicators, and they're not good at collaborating. For me, like, I've
or
never had a
understanding that
whole comic book. Yeah.
they're hired
So, like,
hands at
yeah.
some point.
No, they are. But, like, for my projects, I've never had one where I needed things to be so specific. So whenever I can, I try to
Yeah,
just
I'm a pain in the
let.
ass.
Oh, yeah, but you want what you want. So you need to find the artist who's willing to work with you on that kind of
And
stuff.
that's why
Because
I'm waiting for the right
some of
guy.
them
You're right.
are.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
I'm working with a guy we've had conversations, and I'm like, I know exactly what I want, brother, and I think he's on the same page as me. So that's
Oh,
a good thing.
that's
But you're right; it's the same thing creatively too. I've butted heads with people before, but when I'm paid to do a commercial for Fifth Third Bank and some stupid ballpark Reds game shit, they didn't hire me to give you my fucking well, we should shoot it this way and do a fucking panoramic. Like, no, like at the end of the day, if they want this stupid corny person to eat a hot dog and me to zoom in right when they're smiling and it looks stupid as shit, I'm gonna have to give it to them. That's what they're paying me for.
It's like you
and
can
out of
bring
respect
up
of the client,
that the
right?
idea is
Yep.
fucking retarded, but it's not.
Yep.
You still have to do what you're paid to do.
Yep. And I don't get to treat him like an asshole either. I don't get to treat the client like he doesn't know what he's doing. I'm an artist, so this is so stupid. This is beneath me. Oh my god, thought cinematic, dude. That know your role at the same time. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I did a Weeda Bin's beer commercial. You know, I shot a commercial in the same room as famous people have. Like, the movie Rain Man was filmed in this restaurant. And I'm standing in this place, and I'm like, this looks familiar. And the guy tells me, yeah, and on the wall, look, there's Tom Cruise. And I'm standing in the same room at the toothpick scene in Rain Man.
Yeah.
I filmed a commercial there. And
That's cool,
at the end of it, they didn't pay me much, and they gave me a shit ton of beer. But the guy that was starting the company up was like, man, you were just such a great, great to work with. At first, I was apprehensive. I didn't know if I wanted to hire you, but then you brought great ideas and you treated it professionally. And I'm like, that's just the way it is. When you're there for them. I'm creatively there for you. I got great ideas. Do you want to hear them? And if you make them excited, they'll want to hear your ideas. Boom. And there you go. Lightning in a bottle. You got a smooth set and everyone's fucking drunk because you're selling beer. So I'm doing take after take, fill the beer glasses up, and we're having a blast on that.
It's
set,
like
but it's great.
That's also why you want to find people who have different skill sets or experience to you. Like, I have a friend of mine, he helps me with all of my bookshelf and other kind of in-home kind of projects. A good friend of mine, he's older than my dad. He's like 60 years old, but every time I have an idea for something like to make, if I bring it to him in 60 seconds or less, he will make it 8 times better just by thinking about it. And I'm like, thank God for that, man. Like, I didn't know what, like, in this case, it wasn't, I had a specific vision like you, but in my particular case, he's so good at what he does. Like, his ideas overrode my vision. I'm like, this isn't better, just automatically. I'm
You
really
have
lucky
your
about
brain. Yeah, your brain is open to that too as well, and that's a great thing. Like, we made I've made so many great changes on set with these actors, and you learn their talents and their skill sets as well too. And it's really great, and you realize that, like, holy shit, it was better to do it this way, because
Oh yeah, and sometimes you don't know until you kind of give it a fucking shot, see if it
right.
works.
You have one plan. You coming in to do, like, when I was coming in to shoot Frantic. I originally, before I even met Anthony, that's the day I met him, by the way. I had another guy set up, and he's like, Chris, I thought really hard and long. I'm like, where's your gear, bro? Where the fuck's your gear? We got to shoot. Because I can't give you the movie. I can't give you the movie that you want. I don't have that skill set. But I brought somebody who does.
Oh, that's
and he
good.
brings out a Steadicam rig, and I'm like, oh my God, the damn game changed. We're doing everything with the Steadicam rig. I'm like, hell yeah.
Shots in the movie called Frantic. Oh, Katie, when you're able, I'm curious what your experience is being directed as a model, and whether that was ever if you ever had conflict in that area.
Can you say that one more time?
Oh, I'm curious about your perspective, being in the modeling industry and being more on the other, like, having people direct you, and whether you ever contribute your ideas to those kind of situations.
Like when I'm modeling, like posing?
Yeah,
and stuff? It varies. So, like, there's a lot of jobs where the photographer wants something very specific, and they're like, turn your head, do this, do that, and they give, like, a lot of direction. And sometimes they literally just, like, don't say a fucking word, and I just have to do stuff. I guess I'm used to that, though.
Yeah, it was like my extra work, because you're not dealing with. Yeah.
It's important to know your angles, though, and study your own pictures, other pictures and editorials and stuff, so that you know what would look good from that photographer's angle, the lighting, and how shadows are. Different things like that. So a lot of it almost looks like a slow like dance when you're doing different poses and stuff, if they don't really say anything. But I guess it just varies. And as far as like outfits or like the set or anything like that, that is not appropriate. It wouldn't be appropriate for me to say anything about it or give suggestions on that. Only my modeling. So, but like if I'm wearing a dress, like maybe like holding part of it or, you know, stuff like that is fine. But
yeah, whatever attached to your person. No, that's a great answer. Yeah, thank you. What about me? When no angle looks good, there is no perfect vision for this masculine specimen I set before y'all today.
You guys, I almost did a spit take. I almost spit out my smoothie because I saw this and it says, I don't know if you can see it, censored. And then the text below it says, "Are you scared of being censored by woke liberals?"
Yeah. It's like, yeah,
why
it's
do you make it
terrifying.
sound
I
like
thought
a
it was
monster
funny
under
too.
your bed? Why do you make it sound like it's like a monster under the bed? It's like,
Everything's
are you
insane.
afraid of the
Well,
woke
it's like-
liberals in your closet?
As Americans, it's kind of written into our little rule book that we got going on, to not be tolerant of that. But here we are. That's what I said to her. I was like, if it's that much of a problem where there's advertisements and shit, like maybe stop doing it. I don't know. Just saying. People can be pretty open about all this now.
Right? How can you be on the side of the right if there's so many people against you? Like maybe you need to rethink this shit. Like, why do I have to tell grown adults that? Like, why? Hey, man, have you ever seen that meme where it's like those two fucking Nazi soldiers and one looks to them and goes, "Hey, are we the baddies?"
Mm-hmm.
No,
Yeah,
but
you're the baddies. Like, check it out. You just woke up. Like, really woke up. Not woke up, but you really like, hello, welcome to the party, pal.
Yeah,
Nice
dude.
to
Did
see
you
you.
ever-
Yeah, you're in Poland and you shouldn't be. Get the fuck out.
Yep.
Did you ever see that one of those fake book titles that says, "If God loves me, then how come I can't smoke crack without burning my lips?"
Oh my god.
Wow.
Oh my god.
A lot of mental. I don't even. It's like a person posting it.
Why do I found stuff like that so funny?
And hit their
I
head
don't know
every
why.
time they went to
Because
type.
it's fucking hilarious.
That reminds me of this. You guys are gonna.
It's
like
fun
this.
to be stupid.
This was my response to a troll.
When I don't like is Hitler.
And
Oh, I
then
saw
he-
that.
It's a
Hitler's the
meme,
boy
but
in
it's
the
not
striped
really far off.
pajamas.
It's not far off at all.
Oh, that's
You guys,
fucked up.
They put Hitler in
And he's on a
striped
sled.
pajamas.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
put
he
him in
did.
striped pajamas. He's got a rainbow coming out of his ass. It's all great. It's all great. But yeah, it's a child's guide to online political discussion. Like, I think this is a real book.
Bring up the.
I just like is Hitler.
Well, just
Even though
so
we're gonna act just like them, make sure we all call them. If you understand basic psychology, you understand projection, and you understand reverse psychology, and you understand some people with really guilty conscience will be over nice or overly affectionate because they got a guilty conscience. So like if you're a racist and you're guilty about it, you're gonna be so anti-racist, it's unfucking believable because the more racist you are, they don't understand that people who are just not people that are bad, they don't go around advertising it every 20 fucking
Either
5
that
minutes.
or they go so far around, like go so far against being racist, they go all the way around the circle back to being just racist again.
Like
tell
extremely
you how
racist.
many-
Not even, they're even more racist than they were to start with, where they should just kept their mouth shut.
I know it's like
That's how I feel.
it's like when a while back Star Wars Battlefront 2 came out, and like there was a campaign for it, and people were like, "There's not enough POC and like divergent sexual like representation in the Empire." I'm like, "You mean the space fascism, the space Nazis from Star Wars? You want more? You want to see yourself represented there? That's what you want?"
that's hilarious.
What I don't understand is what kind of brain thinks of that stuff while they're playing the game.
Right.
Like, we got a
Right.
serious mental health issue, bro.
Sees everything like that. Yeah.
And the crazy thing is, to them, they're extremely bright and we're crazy. And I'm like, oh man, we're never gonna work. We're never gonna win this battle because they're never gonna be able to come to equal ground for us to actually have a debate
I
about
can't.
facts and stuff. And yeah,
It's like talking to my family. It's like talking to some of my Hawaiian relatives. Hawaii is a very liberal state on the whole, and we talk about all these problems that go on down there, and they talk about these like policies they support, and then when bad things start happening, they're like, wow, they really mishandled that. I'm like, they did mishandle it, but it also is exactly what you guys were asking for. Where's the disconnect here?
Right.
well, then
So
another
I
human
can't.
emotion kicks in. They don't want to admit they're wrong, so they double down. They double down.
Yeah. Not wanting to admit when you're wrong is a powerful human emotion. I feel
Yeah.
like everybody like.
Nobody likes to be wrong.
Nobody
Right.
likes it, but man, do I respect somebody who says, I don't know, and I'm sorry and mean it,
Yeah.
and or I was wrong.
Yeah.
Right.
Just
I
got
try to
juice,
say,
man.
yeah, dude. I'm trying to find this crack smoking meme that my wife was talking about, but I'm having trouble.
Is it the Dave Chappelle one?
Gotcha,
I
bitch.
don't. I don't know what it is. It sounds hilarious though, but I want to find it. I just I typed in why can't I
Don't-
smoke crack without my lips cracking if God loves me, and all I'm getting is a bunch of different things that I didn't
You're
expect.
getting like all these weird Calvinist memes.
Yeah, this is a fun one, a funny one. If God loves me, why can't I get my locker open? And it's just a
Dude, I
sad
could
kid.
never open my locker in middle school. Like,
Yeah,
never.
It
Fucking
looks like a
dumb.
real book that somebody printed or like made a mock cover. It's kind of funny. Why can't I get my locker open?
I think I have a book in me where I'm just going to go like completely full mental breakdown. Dumb. Like, just completely take something and just flip it and just go full blood passion on something that's absolutely asininely stupid. And I'm going to give
Did you
it
ever?
so much rage and fire and see if people actually start like cheering for me. Like, see what happens. It's a social experiment.
All right.
Well, Chris. No, I was like thinking about the YouTube thing too. It's like people like TikTok is on at least like somewhat up front with all their bullshit. YouTube is not. And it's like because of what caused my channel to get a bunch of subscribers in the first year, like it won't promote most of what I do now because it wants travel, vlogs, and like disaster content on my channel. Because Hawaii
Damn.
had that big fire last year, and I went over there to save my grandma and her stuff, and I was filming stuff while I was there, and that caused my channel to get a lot of traction at the time. Very different from anything else I made. And now it's like YouTube's like, well, we really want you to do more of this. I'm like, well, there hasn't been another fire, and no, it's depressing.
Right.
Oh,
Well, you
yeah.
got to blame that on some of that on your viewers as well. It's like when I stopped raging on films I don't like, I noticed that my shit went downhill.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I could see that.
Yeah.
And it's like everybody is critical of shorts, and on the whole, I am too. And I don't use it to build my channel. I just like making shorts. I'm like, can I make?
Dude, some
can
of
I,
my
can
shorts
I
do
tell a
better than my
story where
regular
it's short?
videos.
Oh yeah, like some of my best video is just a video, but like the next 2 to 5, all shorts. Yeah. It's like I made one the other day. It was this copy of this dumb text from this blonde on TikTok, and then me with Helldivers like footage that I filmed.
That works, man. Our shorts on our channel are definitely what gets the most attention. Good thing Katie is all over that.
All the dogs.
Yeah, dog and family stuff. She nails it. It's awesome.
Do you
It's awesome.
guys, let me ask you this. Like, I struggle with like finding the right tags. And I did an experiment. Like, I would do shorts and I go, okay, I'm going to use hashtags or tags in this one and not this one. And I want to see what does better. And tags do work. I don't know to what percentage, but they do work. Okay. I just
They
like,
do.
do you guys use them? And what do you use?
Yeah. You have to use keyword explorers. You shouldn't use more than 3 or 4 tags because they can
Oh
use
shit!
that
I've
as an
been
excuse.
bombarding them like with
No,
all
that's the
kinds of
thing.
shit.
Yeah,
Trust me,
same.
like everybody does, including big people. But according to YouTube, and they've utilized this as a weapon before. If you use more than 3, they can take down your content for whatever reason they want because it goes against their terms of service. And it's a rule they
Even if they
very
let you do
selectively
it,
and
what a bunch of
they,
cocksuckers!
oh yeah, no, it's a weapon. It's a
Yeah, we'll let
basically
you
and
shoot yourself and
yeah,
then
it's like
fine you
that
for it.
law. It's like that law they tried to pass a couple years ago where you have to inform law enforcement officers in a town where you're going to intentionally commit a crime. But you legally have to tell them you're planning to do the crime, and like that would be a law, like another crime punishable by law. It's like the same thing. So
It's
what you
like
have to
adding a
do
whole
is
bunch of fucking taxes and shit.
yeah.
Okay, yeah, I see what you're saying.
If you have one of the apps for YouTube, it will help. But yeah, basically, I will upload my video privately from my phone. Then I'll go onto the PC and I'll add all the tags that I need with Keyword Explorer. It'll allow you to look at tags and see how well the tags are performing. It looks at how many people use it, how many people get like have traction with it. Because like if everybody's using this tag and there's a whole lot of competition with it, it's not good for you. But so you need to find that sweet spot with tags. I usually use 3 to 4, and that's my rule of thumb.
And you use
And
a
sometimes,
program to help you with that?
yeah, I have a TubeBuddy. It allows you to edit from your PC, more not really from your phone, but yeah, you can change details of your upload from your PC. Like
No, I mean
also
like
making
that tells
sure.
you which tags to use.
Yeah,
Like,
there's keyword explorer. You can type in 2 to 4. You can type in as many words as you want,
on
but
that, okay.
any more than 2 to 4, and it stops really being effective. So it needs to be short, punchy kind of stuff with your
Damn.
tags.
Interesting. Interesting.
Yeah, no, I've done quite a bit of work with it, and videos where I take the time and I upload it properly instead of just tossing it into the wind, they do perform better. That and
Yeah.
then I share it. I have to do that, then share it in the first little while. And if I share it in 2 different spots, like for me, Guild and Twitter, with the right tags, people will retweet it on their own, and then I've done it, and that'll signal YouTube to promote the video, even if it's not your normal stuff.
Right. It's like coding almost. It's crazy.
That being said, you also want your tags to be relevant because if people see like if you have a tag for something unrelated, then people aren't clicking on it because they're showing people who also look at that tag. Like if you have a tag about a car and you're showing something about a guitar, maybe there's some overlap, but probably not. And you also want to make sure that you're uploading your video in the proper category because different tags will interact differently with different categories as well.
Yes,
So
they
like
will.
I didn't know this for a long time. A bunch of my videos were being uploaded strictly as entertainment, and so now if I actually go in and do all the detailed editing, I'll go through and to be like, is this people or blogs? Is this news or yeah, is this gaming? What kind of content is this?
Interesting.
And all that,
Yeah.
Interesting. I didn't know
and
that.
which category you upload your
I knew
video
the
as.
option. I just didn't know how
Yeah,
much it mattered.
it
Yeah.
matters a lot because that will
Yeah.
show it to different groups of people according to
It's kind of
tags and other things they watch.
it's kind of like it's how it's distributed under YouTube, I'm pretty sure. It's like where it goes, I'm pretty sure. And then
Yeah, 100%.
that's even more diluted and less heavy if there's a million tags is kind of what I gathered too. I mean, because why would they put you? Because like, why wouldn't everybody just fill their descriptions up with hashtag words?
I
They
thought that's
do.
what everybody did.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
that's the
I mean,
thing.
that's why I thought that's what everybody did.
Mhm.
You can and you do, but there's the problem because I've seen it happen with big channels and small channels. They can use that as a blanket excuse at any time to take down any video, and because it's against their terms of service, and they only selectively use it. It's a
Is
way
that
for
the
them to
only
strike.
drawback, or does it fuck the
Um,
algorithm up?
it can. I've seen people make videos on it. I don't know how much it fucks up the algorithm, and they change it so often anyway. The trick
Yeah.
one day may be a detriment to the next. So it's a
Yeah,
little
it
bit.
So basically, it really only comes down to like one or two ones that really do any useful impact on the video anyway. Because I'll go like I'll nitpick this thing all the way down to like filmmaking, cinematography. Like I will fucking do
Yeah,
as many as
same.
it'll let me.
Yeah,
And
same.
I see a difference, but I don't see a huge one. But I do see a little difference.
The more specific you're able to make your tag, usually the better it is. What you want is a specific tag that's very specific in what the tag is like saying, and also that has a high percentage. Like you want like 60 to 70% or higher, or it's not very good. Like weirdly enough, for me, the ultimate Kahuna, 3 words, pretty good tag for me. Weirdly enough, I mean it's my channel name, but it always rates like 98%.
Yeah, so I heard someone tell me a while ago to like
just add the word
tag
Kahuna to
yourself.
something, it will usually up the percentage quite a bit. Continue.
A buddy of mine told me like tag your channel in your tags. Like so when people like when you meet somebody, you'll tell them to search your name. So a lot of people will look you up more than they're likely to give you a like or subscribe. So you're more likely to get them to look it up at least, and if they do, you might get them in there. So it's interesting.
Yeah, no, for sure.
You know,
having really good branding. Like well, you're good with names, and you've worked in the movie industry, so you know. But branding is really important. Like
it
having
is,
little
and when
tunes or
I
having
don't
a
get it
recognizable
consistently,
name or something like that.
right?
Yeah.
And
Like
you
for
know,
me,
I'm
when
trying
I
to.
first made. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, it's okay. I was just saying, I'm just trying to find a way to do it consistently. You know, what works for me, and it's a process.
Oh no, for sure.
Oh yeah.
Like AC's good at that because he has his music. It's a pretty good indicator. He also has all his graphic design stuff, his logos, his backgrounds and stuff. And he's trying to get
Oh
his
yeah,
podcast is more of like a Joe Rogan kind of like
Just chill.
shoot the shit kind of thing.
Yeah,
And
just
I
chill.
like it. It's been very comfortable and relaxed and fun.
Like
Yeah,
the goal being like obviously the guest, you, but like overall I want us all to feel comfortable enough just talking about whatever, because at the end of the day I think that's what draws people into Rogan is like yeah, you're a neuroscientist, cool. What else do you think about as a neuroscientist,
do
you
you
know what I
like
mean?
space? Right?
Yeah,
What do
like
you
do you like
space?
video
What do you think
games?
about
Yeah,
DMT?
Yeah, how do you feel about DMT? Yeah. But yeah,
I just watch Joe Rogan for Joey Diaz because that motherfucker
so
makes
funny.
me laugh till I pee my pants sometimes.
Dude, for real. He's probably one of the funniest dudes ever. It's not.
Right? Can you imagine having that guy as a friend? Like I feel there are days. Look, I know this sounds so pathetic, but there are days where I'm like, man, I wish I really had Joey Diaz in my life.
Dude, it's like a
I'm like,
very
come now,
wholesome.
dog.
Like,
You got this, brother. Take this
I
edible.
know.
You'll feel fine in the morning, dog.
Oh, you
I
fuck
need
now,
that
sucker.
fuck. Right. I need come here,
You fuck
cocksucker.
now,
You're gonna eat
bastard.
this pizza with me. I'm a fat fuck. Like,
Dude,
yeah, I need that guy in my life.
Joey Diaz was the first Brotherhood of Steel knight that we saw in Fallout. He was like a young Joey. He's like, fuck. He comes running out of the cage. Fuck. And he's like, oh, you're going to die for this, you son of a bitch. You know what they do to guys like you? He's just talking. I'm just like, oh my God. I was rolling watching that scene. I'm like, they totally just put a gamer in some armor. And this is like how.
Yeah.
I can listen to Joey Diaz tell me stories about his life all day long.
Yeah, dude. It's
Like let me tell you a story, Joe Rogan.
let me tell you.
Let me tell you a story.
He would be a fun friend now, but
There was
back
one
in the
time in
day,
Colorado.
he would not have been a good friend. He sounded like a really shitty friend when he was younger.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you
That's
weren't
true.
with him doing the things he was, if you weren't like a fucking asshole like he was not a good friend to you. No, he
Right.
probably wasn't
No.
a good friend to you then. But this the Joey Diaz now, when he got into acting and shit like that,
Yeah.
His stories
2004
are so
and up.
wild.
Yeah, he's crazy. Like when he was on the bus farting, and the teacher's like, "Oh my God, he's changing flavors."
Oh,
Like,
God.
this is like, and he tells these stories where you're like that didn't happen, and then you watch him and you're like, "Oh my God, he either happened
He's
or he's
not
the
lying.
best actor in the world." Like,
Yeah.
like,
And I don't think he's the best actor in the world, but he's
no, he's not. He's
so this
horrible.
must have happened. No, he's a very good actor by virtue, and like he believes what he's doing, you know, and what he's saying. That's
Was he in? Was Joey Diaz in Armageddon?
Yeah,
I swear to God,
yeah.
he was like a hot dog.
he was.
stand
He was
guy
in
or
the
something.
opening credit scene when the fucking asteroid is breaking up and shit.
I
was.
fucking
Oh my
knew it.
God.
I'm like, I know this guy from somewhere. Where did I?
He was
know
in
him?
Taco Bell commercials back in the day, you know?
Hell
Like,
yeah,
Yo
hell
Quiero
yeah.
Taco Bell with the little damn dog.
Motherfucker,
Hell yeah.
you're right. I think
Hell
you're
yeah.
right.
Every once in a while,
Well-
that son of a bitch pops up and shit, man. I'm like, is that Joey? Jesus. He got more. I thought he was in, like, the longest yard, and that was it. You know what I mean?
That's
Like,
insane.
I didn't
Yeah.
know. Like, he was actually doing some shit.
The Longest Yard is an underrated movie. It's a
It's
very
really
good.
good.
It's a good drama and also a very good comedy. And like people
Yeah.
never talk about it. I'm like,
How come you get to
I
be the
went back
quarterback?
and
Why
watched
can't
it,
I
was
be
like-
quarterback? Okay, you can be quarterback. Throw the ball. No, sit down. Like, that's
or how
fucking
they got
brilliant.
every WWE wrestler who has ever existed is like,
Right.
Ray Cully, you can be in the film. Go ahead.
For real.
Yeah.
That's the truth with some cheese on it.
Well, when you're friends with Adam Sandler, you know what I mean? Stone Cold
Yeah.
Steve Austin was in the thing. Bill Romanowski
Stone
from the
Cold said
NFL.
so.
For
Right.
real.
Yeah, that was a funny movie. That was a funny movie
Yeah, I
for
agree.
sure.
Well,
Cheeseburger Eddie.
dude, he was my favorite. Yeah, the truth. That's the truth with some cheese on it. Pulls the cheese.
Oh
nothing
yeah.
nothing a quarter
Some
pounder
cheese
won't
with some
fix.
cheese.
Nothing a quarter pounder won't fix.
Give me a cheeseburger and a Diet Coke. Remember when
Yeah.
Joey's reading Treehouse? What's Treehouse? Tryouts, you big dumb retards, or whatever you call it.
Yeah.
What is Treehouse?
See you at the treehouse. See you at the treehouse. Yeah.
I'm always
Jesus.
baffled when people. I'm always like, I get people who don't like Adam Sandler's like comedy style, but then I've heard people say he's never made a good movie. I'm like, whoa, like
That's a
I get if
stretch.
you don't like his comedies, but like watch.
Like, you
some
have
of
to
his
put that
serious
into
roles and tell.
perspective. You have to
I'm
put that
like,
in the
50 First
decade.
Dates
Like,
is very funny, but that's also just a very good movie. I'm like, well, how can you say that he's never made a good? Like, you don't know all his shit if you say that.
I mean, he recently put that myth to bed with Uncut Gems. Like,
I
yeah, that
still have-
surprised me. That surprised me, man. That really kind of like.
I mean,
That
coming off
surprised
of
me.
Zohan. Come on now.
Have you seen the new one where he's an astronaut in space talking to a fucking alien spider and shit?
No.
What? It sounds.
I'm not
made up.
making that, dude. Don't. I'm not making that up.
You know
I
that movie
didn't
where
just fucking
in
pull it
space
out of
talking
my
to the
ass.
Alien space spider.
Yeah,
No?
he's like a foreigner astronaut, right? And he's on this mission where he's isolated, and this alien thing, you know, manifests itself as a fucking gigantic fucking tarantula,
Oh man.
and he speaks to him telepathically.
What
It's got
the fuck?
Paul Dano's voice. Paul Dano's
Is
voice,
this
you know, from
Starship
the Riddler
Trooper
or
6
whatever
or
he
some
was.
shit? What is this?
No, I forget what it's called. Spaceman. There it is, Spaceman.
Oh, that's weird.
That sounds like a Sandler movie. Did you watch Leo? It's that new so with the fall of
Oh, the
Disney,
lizard.
Yeah.
With the lizard?
With the fall of Disney, everybody's trying to like throw some chips in the game too. And Netflix got that animated lizard movie, Leo. I mean, if you guys haven't checked it out, I think it's worth a watch. It's Sandler and Bill Burr as the two animated talking animals. And
wow.
Bill Burr is an aging lizard. No. Sandler's the aging lizard. And he starts going home with all the students and like teaching them life lessons like a Disney movie. And literally like they make fun of it, and it's pretty great. Like the teacher starts singing, you know, about the substitute teacher, and then she like tries to cue the substitute in, and the substitute's just like this cranky old hag, and she's like, "Oh, I don't sing, I don't do that." And she's like, "Oh, okay," and then she continues singing. It's pretty ridiculous, but you know, you got Sandler and Bill Burr humor in there talking about new generations and the next wave of kids and stuff like that. And
That's the one where he's doing that old man voice. So he goes, "Oh, Adam Sandler's old man voice. I'm a little
he's doing
guy."
that. Yeah, the old
Yeah.
Yeah.
is Sandler.
Everybody has certain voices that they do, so if they have any like expression at all. It's like
Yeah.
for me, I used to have all these impressions I could do. I could still do some of them, but I've done Trump so many times recently, it's hard to get out of doing that one. It just happens like automatically now.
I've been working on it. Like the thing here, it's hard to do. See, I can't do it right now because I'm so fucking tired. But like, you have to get into this cadence, and it's like,
shut up, Chris.
right.
I think you lack intelligence. You have tremendous qualifications to be on this stream, the best stream this country has ever seen.
Yeah.
I mean
You gotta
that.
get
I
into
mean
it.
that. Surely, I mean that. Yeah.
Truly,
Okay.
we mean that.
Truly,
In every word we
Truly,
huge.
the greatest stream
Truly
in
the
this
greatest
in the
stream.
history of this
You know
country.
who's that hot comedian right now who's doing all that shit? And he was just on SNL. Shane Gillis.
Yes.
Oh,
Shane
If you
Gillis
haven't
does
seen
it.
him, do
He's
Trump, man,
very
you'll pee
fucking
your
funny.
pants.
Here,
He
let's
is
end it on
hilarious,
a Gillis Trump. Let's end it on
dude.
a
And
Gillis.
when Gillis talks about his uncle with Down syndrome, like it
Oh,
cracks
dude,
me up because he's right. These guys are the most chill, happy-go-lucky guys, but they're also like blunt and honest with you, man. I have fond memories. I was called an R word. I was called an R word by an R word, and he thought it was the funniest thing he's ever said in his life. And I'm just sitting there trying not to be like, "Hey, that's offensive, bro. You can't say that." But like, what am I gonna tell him? You can't use the
dude,
thing. If people I just took it and I laughed, and I laughed with him.
You gotta laugh, man. Like my brother used to call him, like he was
so
calling me a
many.
retard one time. I was like, what a piece of shit. Because like with anyone else, I would have laughed because it's funny. But then with him, it's like this effer means it. This sack of shit.
No, if you mean it, that's not funny. Sack of shit really means I'm retarded.
Yeah, someone, and then it's like, yeah, mom ran you over. I'm like, what do you mean? It's like turns out like I've been like I hadn't been told. It's like, oh yeah, I did get run over when I was.
You just mess with him. He's like, "Do you remember the day she dropped on your head?" No. She goes, "That's a side effect."
Yeah.
And then you don't know, like they don't know, like you confirmed it in their head. They don't remember, so obviously it happened.
Oh yeah.
Right. All right. So we got some stuff here. Let me know if you guys can hear it.
I will say this: the one thing that Trump losing was, for me, was because I just figured out kind of how to do his voice. Which that's kind of a bummer that it's not hard to do Trump. It's all you have to do just do that a second off from where it should be in the sentence. And then you don't have to sound like him. All you have to do is like get his cadence down. It's very easy. All you have to do is like describe something and then say you described it that way. That's it. It's every time. Like, what a big room this is. I walked in here. I said, wow, what a big room. That's it. Every time.
I said, wow, what a big room.
Austin. A lot of homeless.
Not
I walked
wrong.
in here. I said, wow, that's a lot of homeless.
I said he's not wrong.
Yeah. You guys got a lot of homeless. What are you guys doing about it? Whatever you guys are doing is not working. So switch. I don't know what to do either. But do something.
Do something wrong.
A lot of tents.
A lot of tents.
Why? It's been making me laugh thinking about Trump. Like,
it's so fun doing it.
Not understanding why people are homeless. I walked out. I saw him. I said, "Why are you living in tents? I could never. These guys."
Yeah.
You got to do the easiest way to do Trump is like the speech Trump when he's doing a rally. Trump.
Okay.
Because it's just in the back of your throat.
Okay.
The greatest country. That's it.
The greatest country.
Okay.
A little bit.
The greatest country.
Don't do this. Do this.
The greatest country.
It worked.
Don't
it worked
move
a
at
little.
all. Only move your hand.
All right. Don't move my body.
If you're sitting,
Move your shoulders, just your
all right.
hands.
if you're
The
sitting,
greatest country.
It's a
sit
little
like that. If you're sitting.
Don't. First of all, don't. Okay. So sit like this.
Don't.
Yeah. The greatest country.
The best country.
The best country.
Wow, what a country.
Wow, what a country.
A lot of Asians.
A lot of Asians.
Maybe too many.
Maybe too
That
many.
might-
Oh my god.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. What, Mr. Trump, how do you feel about gay rights?
I like it, but they're going a little overboard with the dancing.
Too much. A parade every summer. Come on.
He's going to move for 3 minutes. Then you're going to hear this buzzer. Okay? And when that goes off, we're going to move to the next table. Tana.
Oh boy.
What are you doing here?
I was asked to speak at this hotel. It turns out there's some type of pussy banquet going on.
Give us another that we haven't heard. You do so many good impressions.
You got a good Trump.
Your Trump's good. Oh, fuck.
Can we do a Trump off?
No,
A Trump off.
Trump off. He's got a
Trump
good
off.
Trump.
We're supposed to do a
off.
Trump thing.
I'd do it.
I've never
I'd
heard
do it.
yours.
I'd do it.
Very good. Very good.
Ooh.
It's very good. There's a lot of guys doing. A lot of people doing me. You're a very good impersonator.
Yeah, he's nice at it.
Not bad. Now, Jamie Joe DeRosa, what a pig. Disgusting pig. I would love to put the country on your shoulders, but Joe, it might slide off.
Oh my
I'm
god.
a very good comedian. I could be a comedian.
Wow.
A lot of guys say Joe's built like a worm. I don't say that, but Joe is built like a worm. He looks like the Men in Black
Oh my
aliens
God, dude.
grew up.
I think I found the
I
best
don't
thing.
need a date, but I'll get a date if I want a date. You can go on Tinder. There it is. There's Tinder. You go beep boop pop, and there's pussy.
He's like, and it was because of the debates. That's what did it, dude. That's how we got Trump. These debates. And the first one is the best one. So it's a Republican primary. Everyone's up on stage, and they're all still doing their political shit. So like the first couple guys that talk are like, "I'm from Kentucky, and I love education." And the crowd's like, "Nice. We didn't know what was coming." And the next guy's like, "I'm from Georgia, and I love religion." And the crowd's like, "Pretty good. This is a good one. This is a heated
Solid, man.
debate." And then it finally got to Trump's turn to talk, and he was just like, "Rand Paul is ugly," and the whole crowd was like, "Oh, you didn't know you could do that in this? You can just do that as your thing."
That's
There's one debate.
That's
There's
how
one
you get
debate.
everybody's
He's like in the
attention.
middle of it, going back and forth about the economy with Ted Cruz. They're literally talking about the economy, and in the middle of it, he's just like, "Ted's wife, ugly as a dog." Like, dude. Holy shit, dude. And Ted was like, "I'm from Texas. You don't talk about a man's family like that. You've got a dog wife, Ted." It's like,
He's from New York, so rules don't apply there.
everyone knows.
Everyone
They're all afraid to say it.
Jamie Foxx's
Yeah.
It's incredible.
I got tagged in that 9,000 times.
It's the only Trump I've ever heard that's better than yours.
Oh, it's better.
Well, black people are better at things.
This is a challenge.
It's really
Is it
good.
better?
Jamie Foxx.
I don't know. I'm not gonna, I don't want
like,
where's this road taking
Yeah,
I know the next couple.
Nope. He's a black guy. Black guys, they're okay. Pretty good.
I'm not gonna do
it.
I'm not.
There's
doing
only one
Dude,
president
some
that's
people are way
easier to
better
do
at
an
the
impression of.
conversational Trump. I can't do it.
Is that Bush?
No, Biden.
Oh yeah.
Hey,
You can just sound like an old
I can describe America in one word. You start off sounding lost and old, a little breathy, and then you just say nonsense. That's how you start.
Be very confused.
I've been in the
Like
Senate
that.
for 186
What are you gonna
years.
do in 2023?
He's got some fascinating quotes.
For
Just
Mr.
saying.
Trump.
Yes.
You haven't announced you're running.
I
again,
haven't
but-
announced it. The crooked FBI. They went into my house. Not good. They didn't find
What
it.
I said was true. If you had to rank them from least funny to funniest assassination, easy number one. For real, he'd be talking shit like when it happened. He'd be doing like a rally. He'd be like, "My opponent's gay." I walked in, I saw him. I said, "Wow, this guy's gay." The shooter would be coming out and be like, "Sit down, sit down. You're gay." Get hit. He'd definitely make a funny noise into the like. He'd get hit, be like, "Ah!" and fall.
Dude,
Give me Trump.
that was the singer.
No,
That's the
Joe,
singer.
Give me Trump.
I don't know why, but that noise was
There's a lot of
hilarious.
scientists
That was
out
perfect,
there.
dude.
There's these guys that come in here. They talk to you. They don't know what they're saying. They talk to you about getting pussy. I get pussy a lot of guys.
Oh my
At the
goodness.
AS.
Anyway,
It would be so much fun to go on Joe Rogan and laugh until your cheeks hurt and your stomach's aching and
goals,
great.
man.
You know, Rogan's fine. For me, it really depends on his guest. Like, I'm not going to tune into
Yeah.
every
Oh,
Rogan
yeah.
podcast, but like,
No,
I
me
see a-
neither. Me
if I
neither.
see a guest that sounds interesting or someone that I already like, I'll be there. Yeah.
With
sure,
that,
for
with
sure.
that, how about we go around and say where everybody can find us? And I agree with that. That's the dream, to laugh our ass off on Rogan one day. That'd be really awesome.
Oh yeah, most
But
definitely.
let's
Create our own Rogan where we can laugh our ass off. Either way, I'm happy with either one.
let's start with you, Chris. Just shout out where everybody can like find you and anything you want to plug before we go.
Yeah, you can find me on X or Twitter at Chris R Hicks 1138, all one word. You can find me on YouTube at Chris R Hicks, one word. That's the only social media I'm on right now. I have a special book bundle I put together for my short film where you get a copy of my book, which is 35 pages. The book is called What Goes Around. It's about karma and justice and thinking you got away with something, and one fateful night, two strangers come calling, and it's time to pay the piper.
Yeah.
And it involves family secrets, lies, manipulation, but the ultimate revenge. And you get 2 free stickers that it's KAB, Karma's a Bitch, one red, one black, and a personalized thank you card from me as well. $12.99 shipping included. You also become an executive producer on the project if you purchase one of the bundles. And you get your name in the credits of the short film, which we shoot this summer. And
yeah,
that's it.
That's amazing. That sounds really excited. The only other person I know that's doing like movie stuff is like, I think Animated Moon is messing around with some animation stuff. I saw Mike S. Miller tinkering around with animation. That's separate from movie making. You and Jared Chrisman are the only two that I know that are like dabbling with some movies.
Huh.
So
interesting.
So yeah,
Christopher Moonlight as well.
Oh yeah, Christopher Moonlight. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I could link you up with those guys, but I know Jared. He just dropped his trailer on YouTube. Maybe you guys could do some stuff in the future. He's doing a Western.
Oh, really cool. Really cool.
Really awesome looking.
Oh wait,
Kahuna.
I think I know who you're talking about. I think I'm working with him. I think I will be doing his one of a poster for him.
Oh hell yeah!
If he's the right guy.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah. So yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, I'm trying to get in. Not so much not away from my comic brethren because I do love them, but I thought a good way to get into my short films and then gear up to do a feature would take some of my short films, turn them into stories, offer them as special packages for people, and then help fund the short film projects. But yeah, thank you so much for having me on, man. This has been a blast.
Oh, dude, same. You're always welcome. You're a great guest. Great conversation here. Really awesome and fascinating to hear how similar your recent, like, just the last 10 years have been for you and me too. Honestly, I'm starting to pick up on a lot of people that I'm meeting here in the Iron Age and in the indie scene. Kind of have a similar story, just with slight variations. Like even you, Kahuna, you had some rockiness before it's finally recently started like panning out a little bit, right? Like, and, I mean, that's not
it is getting better. Like I had a pretty turbulent couple of years there. It's like got divorced very much against my own will.
Yeah.
Now the only like the main issues now are trying to solve the financial injustice and then some of the other stuff going on. But a little more private for the most part. But yeah.
And Bad Sauce also says. But yeah, like at least an end in sight, right, buddy? Like there's.
And my life is really blessed. I have a lot of wonderful people. I get to pursue my creative side once again. I don't have someone in my life who's going to try to get rid of, like, stop me at every turn whenever I start working on something. Like I mentioned before, Chris, the ex-wife.
I'm blessed in that regard.
She's the only one who could have gotten rid of it, and I do believe she deleted an entire book that I had written a while back, like a whole ass novel.
Yeah, that sucks, dude.
Just like,
I lost
horrible.
I lost all my writing from high school as well. Like
I don't know. I don't know a creative person who hasn't like lost something. Like I have footage that I, even though I know I can't recover, I still every once in a while try to do it. Like
You
there's
mourn
gotta be
it,
a
yeah.
way.
You mourn it.
I
yeah.
mourn the shit out of it, and so that sucks, brother, man, that you had to go through that, man. But like you were saying, like I'm extremely lucky. Like my wife just kind of lets me go do my thing. You know, she's like, go play with your little Xbox play thing, whatever you're doing. See you for dinner. But that, you know, it wasn't always like that. When we were in our 20s, when we were dating, she wanted my attention, like just like, you know, 20 somethings, they want full attention all the time. But I'm blessed to be able to do this comeback tour, if you want to call it that, because of my family. So like you said, you're happy. Like I'm happy too. I have nothing to complain about other than superficial crap.
Don't stop this time either, brother, because I think the world
Yeah, I can't
has
stop
their
this
eyes
time.
open.
If I stop, I don't think it'll ever start again. Yeah,
that's kind of where I'm at
You're
too, and I feel like the world has like their eyes open now. So like no matter what lane each of us picks, even if it's multiple lanes, I think people will still see that, especially with the rise of AI and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like people are so hyper aware of everything like that nowadays. Like we're all watching Disney crash and burn in slow motion, like billions of dollars. Like, oh my goodness, dude. So much money.
You can only blame your audience and call them names so much for not buying into your crap, because the studios also have this thing, and I don't know if they still do, but it's called they don't know what they want till we give it to them.
Yeah.
And there's a mindset with these suits that people don't fully understand, and they tried to do that. And I keep telling them, hit them in the wallet. That's the only way you can stop rage watching shit. Quit giving them money so you can talk shit about it. Hit them in the wallet. Eventually, it will cascade. But like, how long can you treat your audience like a bunch of assholes before you start hemorrhaging money, and then you're in your position you're in?
Yeah, it's getting worse. It's gotten so I can't believe there's still green lighting projects on the level that they are. They've already canceled quite a bit, but not enough in my eyes.
The fact that they're coming out with another Star Wars series is like, have you not learned?
Yeah,
you got to do it right
sounds
now.
Like it sounds like they're doing.
Oh, we're gonna, dude. Even the
criticized for.
hardcore nerds don't care about the fucking acolytes.
Yeah, dude.
Like we care about the George Lucas shit, not the fucking crap people wrote books about that we read as fans that we didn't like, unless it was Admiral Thrawn in it, you know. But I don't get this acolyte crap. I mean, I don't get. It's not that I don't get it. It's just like, do they not understand that we don't want to see that? We don't want to see that.
If they had good,
many cool things that we.
If they had good faith and they made good movies, we would be excited. Straight up.
Rogue One, I thought maybe we had a chance with Rogue One.
Same.
That was interesting. That was interesting. After Lucas,
it's a movie.
That's the only thing.
I enjoyed that movie.
Yeah.
It's almost. It's almost. It's almost a StarArs movie. Almost.
Almost.
Not perfect. Not
Doesn't
perfect,
feel right.
but it's damn close. It's better than the what was it? 7, 8, 9. Yeah, 7, 8, 9.
And they linked it with
Solo.
the old one.
Sequel trilogy.
They linked it with the old ones at the end, so it like picks right up. So yeah, that's awesome. I mean, like it's like okay,
it doesn't only fit in, it improves.
Yeah.
The previous movies, like that's how you do that kind of film. But
there's a little bit of creativity involved in it. Exactly. Yeah, there's thought behind it. There's no thought in episode 7, 8, and 9. Where's the thought behind it, other than Abrams copying?
Yeah.
You know, the MacGuffin and you know, I don't know. I don't know why audience didn't really cry foul big time when that movie came out.
Has been screwing the pooch so badly for so many years. Even normies are starting to kind of get away from that. And that's a beautiful thing about our space within the like the Iron Age isn't a group. It's an age. It's a timeline where basically independent creators can do it without the approval and the backing of a large studio. That's what it is. But we have our own individual group within this that we identify with the Iron Age, and that's what I think is so beautiful about it. We're all people striving forward, trying to do the same thing. We're trying to replace what is missing, go back to the ways that work, and then also pave the way to the future. And plus, the level of collaboration and help and ways that people interact within this space is pretty unparalleled. I've never seen a space quite like it before.
Damn, I feel like I've been missing out. Like I feel like for some reason I feel like I don't think it sounds corny, but I'm like, man, I might have found my people tonight. I might have found some good people to get it.
That's
What
pretty
you
cool.
just said is like what I'm trying to do. Like, how come the comic book people don't get there? Like, I don't understand.
Well, and it's
But
like,
yeah,
it's
guys,
like,
it's been
yeah.
Sorry.
We could keep going. We could just keep fucking going.
Yeah,
I know
we just keep talking forever. We'll do this
yeah.
again, man, for sure.
Yeah.
And thank you once again. I forget her name. I'm so sorry, I can't remember off the top of my head. But tell her thank you for me.
Katie, my wife.
Yes, your wife.
I will. And
Thank
thanks
you.
for coming on again. Yeah.
You're very
And-
welcome, guys. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Chris. Good name. Good name.
God,
Yeah.
I'm bad with names, man. I'm so sorry.
Oh,
What's your name?
I'm Christian.
Christian.
Or
Okay, I
Corona.
can't forget
Either
that.
way
That's
is
cool.
fine. Yeah.
Alright,
Both
cool.
Chris's. Yeah.
My brain
Also,
will work
next
better
time-
tomorrow.
Next time you see if you hop on the show again, refer to Katie as Andy's wife. She loves that, by the way.
She loves that. Yeah.
Loves it.
Absolutely
Okay.
loves it. Yeah.
Does it piss people off? Is that why? Who's
Oh,
it
it
pissing
pisses
off?
her off.
Oh,
Yeah.
does it? Oh, I
Yeah.
don't want
Oh,
to
for
start off
sure,
on a
yeah.
bad foot, man. She's been really cool to me, bro.
No,
You
she
guys
likes-
try to get me
she
in
likes
trouble
it.
already, bro. Damn.
Yeah, there's already
All
pranks
right.
going on over here. It's awesome.
I love that. I love that. Cool. Thank you. All right,
But
guys.
yeah.
Have a good night, man.
Yeah.
God bless,
good
guys.
one,
Have a good one. See you, Andy.
And, yeah, have a good one. And to everybody else listening, this is Galaxy News Radio signing off. Cheers.